Welcome in, everybody live. Thank you for joining us. I have two fantastic guests on with me, and I tend to just get straight into things, which is no different today. I'll plan on getting straight into things, and I'm going to bring them in now. So just bringing them into the show, and here we go, pushing them across. To my left, you have Nostradamus of the Three Kings of Midway, one of the best podcasts out there for Bears fans that you can possibly get. I'm going to put a little banner up on the screen coming across now. Here's his socials and information. Make sure you're following him. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast because they're very, very good. I follow it. So if I'm listening to it and I'm following it, I'm suggesting that you do too. And then over to my right, we got Zan, who is a fantastic streamer on Twitch. Just you can see him at the bottom of the screen now. Fantastic streamer on Twitch. Go and watch him. Honestly, it's EA Madden, it's in the game, all the rest of it. But Zan really does know his offense. He knows his defense. He knows his schemes. He knows his coverages. He knows what he's looking at. And you will learn a lot about football just by watching him play Madden. So well worth making sure you go over and subscribe to him as well. And so just in field so far, we've heard lots of different things about how we should be looking at a quarterback in the draft this year, how he's clearly not processing his mechanics. We're hearing all of this sort of stuff. What's your take on those tropes that we are hearing so far? We'll go with you, Nostradamus, first, a regular caller into Cap Show as Nez. So what do you think? What do you make of those tropes so far?
I think it's all, as they say, poppycock. I think it's all seriously. I think it's all BS, man. People have to understand that this was only his 13th start. On top of him having his 13th start, this is also his second offense that he's learning within his second year with having 13 starts. So he's relearning everything on the fly and on the go. He's behind his counterparts right now. Let's say everyone that was drafted in that same class that he was drafted in, he's behind because he had Andy Dalton in his way and a sugar cookie getter or a coffee fetcher in the name of Matt Nagy disguising himself as an offensive genius, which he did more harm to Justin than good, in my opinion, last season. Now we're moving on to this season. This is his second offense in which he's learning. So everything that he's learned with Matt Nagy, again, being a young quarterback in the NFL, he has to unlearn and then learn what the new coaching staff wants him to do. So in that process, he's not only have to know his position, he not only have to know his reads, his keys, but now he has to know everyone else's position on the field, from wide receiver to tight end to running back to diagnosing coverages when he's at the line. What type of coverage are they at? Is my left foot up? How many steps am I supposed to do in my drop? Now that I'm counting back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, now set up. Okay, now what coverage are they playing? Oh, okay, damn, he missed his block. Okay, step up. Who's open? That's a lot, man. That's a lot to process.
So
that's a lot to process.
Zan, going from the spread RPO type scheme with Nagy, what it was supposed to be that. I mean, what it was a wheel of misfortune every single play. That he just had a list of plays that he had on his menus on the wall from Denny's, and he would basically spin the wheel, and then whatever he liked would be what came up on the play call. So going from that to a more disciplined West Coast offense with RPOs in it and wide zone scheme, how different would you say that is in terms of processing for a young QB going from one to the other? Because we've got a vet QB who's struggling a little bit with it over in Denver, haven't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot different. First and foremost, you're talking about primarily being in the shotgun last year to now your footwork is completely different. You're under center. Your bucket steps, how you open your body to hand off on inside zone versus outside zone, your footwork on the boot action, how you're selling play fakes as opposed to in the shotgun where you're, a good 6.5, 7 yards behind the snapper, offset back to the right or left. And, that's very different. You've got to get yourself to a point where you're getting smooth in your drop, whether that's 3, 5, 7, or even a one step quick game. You've got to get that down. And let's be honest, a lot of people, the pundits coming into Justin's rookie year, they wondered how a lot of the mechanical stuff was going to come along for him. And really, after 13 starts, you've got to still kind of treat this as really his first season, right? He didn't really get any support year one. And now this year he has to go through, as Nez said already, you've got to kind of relearn everything. And not only just that portion of it, but a lot of it is going to come down to chemistry. So even your carryover guys, Komet and Mooney, like they're running and executing different responsibilities in this offense that he's got to get on he might have chemistry carryover with them, but it's not the same when you're running a little bit different route tree. Where are your guys going to be? What are the side adjustments? There's going to be miscommunications with guys that are carryover talent, much less the fact that much of the receiving core he's got right now has little to no chemistry through 3 weeks with him. And it was all an entirely new unit in the summer. So it's everything right now.
Yeah, I mean, there are lots of things with the West Coast offense as well, particularly where the play changes based upon what you see in front of you. And that's both pre and post snap motion. So, pre-snap motion, that will change potentially what you're seeing initially, what you're declaring by alignment. So sometimes you might put a non-receiver at a receiver position. Who do they put over the top of them? That changes the play. Okay, what front am I seeing? That changes the play. Okay, what type of blitzers am I seeing? A C gap show? Am I seeing a B gap show? Am I seeing an A gap, double A gap show? That changes protection. And there's all of this going on in a very young QB's mind that basically last year had to try and retain a huge playbook, which is probably stripped down and pared down in terms of the amount. But the sheer processing of the variation within one play is where the West Coast offense, when run properly, succeeds, but it's where it makes it difficult to learn in terms of processing and doing it. The one thing that I am a big subscriber in is the more you have to think, the more tight everything becomes, the more you are unable to react to what you're actually seeing. So rapid changes, you're having to think. And then when you're tightening up, you're then having to start thinking about mechanics of actually throwing. All of that. Once you see someone play, we've all been there. We've all had the game where, it seems like whether you play golf, it seems like every swing is completely alien. But sometimes you swing it and it just feels that you don't even feel yourself striking the ball. Same with, kicking a ball or throwing a ball or catching a ball. Sometimes you don't even need to look. You just put your hand up and there it is. It's in your hand. Because that's what you call flow process. And when you have someone who's got expertise within something, so they know it, they know exactly what it is, they know what that's going to look like, what that's going to look like, and what that's going to look like, every variation of it, it's automatic. Then the mechanics, they're not even thinking about it. It's just automatic and it goes. Like Rick said here with grip it and rip it. That is sort of kind of what we're talking about when you have flow. When you're learning, it is very difficult. No, I don't think it's about being afraid to be on the field. I think he's getting a lot of noise from the outside, which isn't helping him particularly. And there's a lot of expectation for him to, okay, well, Nagy was the problem. Yeah, Nagy was the problem, but it's going to take a while to get to where it needs to be in terms of this offense. It is complex. It has everything within it that we need for it to work. And the offensive line has been a revelation for us so far, I believe, both in the run and the pass. We are going to look at that in terms of, there are occasions when it breaks down, but they are rapidly improving, I think, to a man across the field. So should we pull the tape up and maybe start getting into some of the actual breakdowns? Obviously, this is the first game of the season. Yes, we're all there. So obviously what you see pre-snap, Zan and Nez, I mean, if you're a wide receiver, we look like we're stacked over the top in terms of what we've got. So just to sort of draw the alignments and what I mean by stacked over the top. So alignment of where the defender is to where the receiver is. Obviously, this is a tight end. This is a cornerback. So what does this tell us to this side of the field, Zan and Nez? You've got a cornerback and a tight end by alignment. He's the outside guy. A cornerback is over the top of him. But over here, we have stacked over the top, stacked over the top, and stacked over the top in terms of relation to what we've got. So there, this is here. And then obviously you've got safety over the top. So what is this telling you? 3 over 4 with 1 over. And what's this
Man.
telling you? Yeah, and the read might be the read on this, because you got 4 here.
Absolutely.
That's the safety I'm going to be looking at
Mhm.
post snap. So obviously this play, I don't know if you remember it, the very first pass play of the season. It was already raining. Who starts at centre? It's I believe it's Sam Mustafa from what I'm hearing.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're trying to
Um,
ease Patrick back into the forefront, but I don't think it's doing the offensive line any favors. While you're taking out one of your best maulers on the O line,
I agree.
that's not doing the O line any favors. That constant switching. I understand that he has to get game reps or whatever. You simulate that in practice, but in the game, you don't foul up the offensive line. That's just my personal opinion. You want to keep that unit cohesion tight. You just don't mess with it.
Yeah, are Lucas and Tevin carrying the play calls into the huddle with him like it's high school right now? That's kind of the vibe I get right now.
They
I've
are
got
the
to
wide
got to
receivers.
keep Jenkins on the field. He's your
Yes.
best run blocker. Got to stay on the field. He's the guy that you drafted to be a stud. You've already
Yes.
moved him into a new position. Let him assimilate to it.
Absolutely.
So we've kind of diagnosed what we're seeing pre-snap. Now on this play, we're not actually getting any motion, so there's nothing there to tell us. So in terms of routes against this coverage, we quite clearly see, like we said, like we diagnosed at the start, we are getting a zone, and it looks like too high. It looks like too high, or possibly cover 6. Cover 6 is because he's coming back to this sort of position. They're cover 2 under here, so you're getting this area covered by this guy. Deep half this one, deep quarter is what you're getting in terms of coverage, and then obviously 1, 2, 3 as
Deep
the
middle.
under,
Yep.
the under middle. So what we get in terms of the actual routes against the cover 2 is it's design screen by the look of it to me. It's design chip release, so it's delayed release. So what we're trying to actually do here is we're trying to run these backers off, and as we quite clearly see from the routes, the safeties are deep. We don't have the opportunity to rip it there. These two are too tight together for me in terms of alignment. I would want to see a more even split to put this in a bind. If I'm looking at cover 2, if I'm being honest, or cover 6 to this side, but it's quite clearly it's just designed to 1 or 2. So like 1, 2, and then these are like, they're not even a read; they're runoffs for this. So, what's your take on what you're seeing so far on this?
So what I'm seeing out here on the the low sideline, you got a vertical pull for the outside corner. Looks to me, as we roll in the tape a little bit, you're seeing kind of the deep out flooding combo with a shallow check down and then a backside follow. Just a very simple zone flood. I like, unfortunately, we got a little bit of interior pressure right here. Justin was going to have that deep intermediate sideline cut open. It was there. It's just, unfortunately, we weren't synced on the offensive line with the timing of the pattern. Good design. I mean, it's there.
Yeah. And the thing I like on this variation as well, in terms of like the reads, I mean, if this route comes in the middle here, I think that's actually a better design than coming across, personally. But at the end of the day, like we say, when we go to the backside now, this is the reason why the play ultimately, he has no time to go to that deeper route, because as we see here, Cody Whitehair against what is an absolute monster of a man.
Oh yeah,
Javon Kinlaw.
We're very fortunate he went down in that game. He's a game wrecker.
He came back on though. He did finish the game. So I mean, as you can see, there's no time for Justin really. He's looking the correct side of the field. He's looking at that high safety who's sort of deeper than these linebackers. So you see him looking over this way, but he's actually looking at the high safety, which is the correct read for me. Middle of the field should be open, but we don't have time to get to that. It's basically a choice. We know we've got a cover 6 corner. We've got a cover 4 corner, cover 4 safety, cover 2 safety, cover 2 corner over here in terms of read. So he knows with that cover 4 corner, cover 4 safety that we've got over here, like you say, the Darnell Mooney deep out, and this is the flood here. Is David Montgomery, Darnell Mooney deep, and Darnell Mooney will come open, but as you can quite clearly see, you're like, what? I mean, the ball's barely hit his hands. I don't even think he's finished his back pedal at this point. So ball hits his hand, and literally, He goes, what, one? So 1, 2, 3. By the time he's got to rip it, Cody Whitehair is nowhere to be seen, facing the wrong way. This is never a good look for a blocker, by the way. When you're facing your QB and the guy that's about to smash him is well past you, that's a bit of a bad look. Obviously, there's no time as well for Cole Kmet. So this isn't, although people would look at this and say, well, okay, look at this middle of the field here, and we've got 3 guys over here. Again, you can quite clearly see he's not even seeing Cole at this point to here. So, yeah, you could, in theory, say, yeah, you just trust throw it. But at the end of the day, so first play, was it a success? Quite clearly not, and almost, because he sort of lollipops it up a little bit. David has a chance of catching it, but just off his hands. Fortunately, it goes safe. It was a sign already that Talanoa Hufanga was going deep. So again, pre-snap, what are you seeing, guys?
You'd let that roll a little bit more pre-snap. I'm just trying to see alignments here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so initially they're trying to make it look like cover one, aren't they? With one high, and then Hufanga drops.
Yep.
So, but what we got here again in terms of alignment here is outside shade to the wide receiver. So what's outside shade tell you, Nez? If your corner's outside shade, is he going to likely to be in man, or is he likely to be in zone?
He's likely to be in zone because he's funneling them to the inside with the safety over top.
Yeah, outside alignment. So we're kind of thinking, or well, I'm thinking zone, and we've got the A-gap bluff that's also dropping Fred Warner here. Is he dropping or is he not? In terms of the really wide nine, and like a 5-eye or slight 4 here in terms of alignment, by both defensive tackles are outside the edge of the guard. So again, what's Justin seeing? Is he processing correctly? Is he looking at the routes correctly? And it looks like me, it's actually cover 3.
Yep.
As you see it roll under, cover 3 with 5 under. Well, sorry, with 4 under. Cover 3, 4 under. That's what it is. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 zone here. Mm-hmm. Cover 3, and we've only got 3 routes here. So they're kind of quite nicely matched up. Really, the only things that are on for me is these two at this point. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah, that's check downs. You got the middle third peeking down a little bit, but you don't really have anything developing at this point that's going to be able to exploit deep down the seam. That skinny post area of the field. At this point, I'm definitely throwing the check down. Take your pick, left or right.
And where does Justin go? Well, he doesn't quite have time
at all. I mean, this has been the elixir of the entire season. Again, granted that this is just the first game, but as he's not even able to stop and set up in his drop. By the time he takes the third step, he has somebody in his face. And that's what I think they're trying to protect against moving forward.
So this tells me that he's actually going to the right place. He's actually going to Ryan Griffin over here. So is he making the right read? Yeah, he's made the right read twice, I think. So with 2 plays in, he's made the right read. In terms of the protection broke down on play 1. Protection quite clearly has broken down here as well. So, in terms of, you can tell he can feel the pressure there. He can see Tevin's guy has got past him, and he can kind of feel that behind him with Braxton Jones, and he can see Larry Borum also getting long arm pushed back in. He knows he can't step up, and that's, I think, the reason why he gets into this sack, because he knows he's not going to be able to actually step up into that. So again, we're going to see it from the other side. So we've looked at the coverage. We know what the coverage is. We know that basically where he's going to want to go to is check down here or check down here. This is sort of inside out. This is just basically chip release to the flat. So it's chip flat and then center check out, isn't it, in terms of the check down routes. Sorry, just knocking my microphone over here.
No, you're all good. I'm actually seeing this a little bit better now with Hufanga. At first, when we were looking at the left to right view, he looked to me like he was playing shallow. He was actually carrying the over pattern from a hook roll on this. So it looked to me like he was playing a little bit shallow for a middle third defender, but you can actually see they bail out right as the snap to kind of a too high look. He's actually carrying the crosser across the field on this play.
And if we had the old Madden field of view,
Yeah.
you would know that this is basically what he's looking at. He's looking over that side of the field. It's good to see some familiar faces in the chat. Thanks for being here, everyone. So you can see he's clearly looking at the high safety because he's seen Hufanga roll back. So, and then he's checking the left hand side to see whether the middle of the field is going to be open or not. It's not, because it's actually, although it looks like they're now going to cover two again, he's looking at the one high safety, he's seeing that drift to the middle of the field. He knows it's not cover two, so that's what he's actually watching here. But the problem is up front is here, and then coming off the back of this is. This is the problem, is with that chip release, if you get too much on it, Borum is too divorced from this. He's got too much to cover inside, and then distance outside for Nick Bosa. Nick Bosa on the outside. And here, obviously, I think it's Javon Kinlaw again against Tevin Jenkins. So he's given us a rough time of it twice already. Tevin's getting a pretty good go of it at that point. This is a bad position to be in. You don't want to be straight arm, straight leg, straight body. That's never a good look. The problem here is he's getting ripped under, and he's not got his hands reset. He's not cleared half of a man in terms of blocking. So in terms of pass blocking, when you get a rip, you need to basically bring whatever elbow he's trying to dip with. You bring that same elbow in, and you're trying to basically force then your hand back inside to the body to get control of the pad again. We're talking about a rookie ultimately at the end of the day, and this is the reason why it's a problem for him. So we'll go through a few more frames. We're going to see basically Tevin gets too flat-footed here, and that's the reason why he gets torqued. You see Javon Kinlaw's got a hold of his pad on the inside. That's where he rips, because he had that flat feet. He's able to rip and torque, use his body against him, and that's exactly what he does there. That distance that we had here, and this is how many times have we seen Akeem Hicks do this? The elbow lever, the old forklift.
Yep.
It's a great success again. Clearing the hands off. Larry's got better at this the last few weeks, but again, because we got too tall, too stale with our feet, too stale with our hands, bad position. Quite clearly, Justin can't step up. He's looking at the right throw at the end of the day. It's Griffin or nothing at this point. And, there we go. There's the sack from three sides. So we've got two covering one here, and then we've got three guys on the QB.
See how important the hand game is on the offensive line. A lot of people always just assume size and strength is what it is. I mean, your hands win. We had three guys get beat just with the handwork. Just
absolutely
caved around him.
So Jordan said, still have to ask Phil to dirt that ball of Griffin. I think he can feel the pressure on the back, and if he hangs that ball out to throw it, Jordan, he's going to have it pulled out of his hand. I mean, let's just go back a few frames. If at the point where he's going to be able to throw this to Griffin, so let's just go back to the frame where we're talking about. You actually see him there. That's where he pulls it down. If he hangs this arm up here,
strip sack fumble.
Do you not think he's going to literally just take it straight out?
Which is what we spent an entire early spring talking about protecting the football. So it's hard for me. It's hard for me to blame him. And this is the second pass play of the season. So yeah, that's been drilled in his head. Hey, secure the football. So
take the sack.
It's hard to
we'll live to play another down.
Exactly. We're the first series into the first game of the season, and we don't need to put the ball into harm's way this early on inside our own 30. I mean, if you're in the red zone and you're going in, throw it. Because the risk reward is much higher than it is inside your own 30, and that's the reason why I think Justin pulls it and rightly covers the ball, takes the sack. So again, in terms of what San Francisco did all game really, and I think this was part of the problem, was you're getting a lot to process for a young QB. So we're obviously stacking one side, we're loading one side, we're moving safeties. This is a lot to process. So again, context is king, and so is information. So quite clearly off and then man up here. So again, pre-snap information. Look how wide we are here. Tight end. Okay, who's over the tight end? Quite clearly, no one except that. Looks like one high, but is the one high really one high? Well, let's take a line down the middle of the field. Is he really one high? This is the information that he's thinking pre-snap, because we don't have a motion again. We have no pre-snap motion again. Yeah, I mean, I think this is accurate. I mean, if you think Fields should be Tom Brady, get 3 games through the season, reevaluate. Tom Brady isn't Tom Brady after 3 games this season. So
They're
just bear
struggling
that
to
in mind.
score because he doesn't have his weapons around him.
Yeah.
Which goes to show if you don't have your guys, if you don't have your horses, man, it's hard to win in this league.
And Aaron Rodgers, you could say the same thing.
Absolutely. They eking wins out. They eking them out.
Exactly. So I mean, this is the thing. This is why I knew having you guys on would be great for in terms of so coverage. You know, what are we seeing again in terms of coverage? For me, if I've got this here with one high, I'm throwing it right now. Mm-hmm. I know from alignments. Let's go back to the start of this. If I confirm early on that this is indeed one high, so in other words, if he takes 2 steps back straight away and this guy doesn't move because I can see him in my periphery, I know I'm singled up over here. I'm just literally throwing it. I'm throwing it. I'll look over here, but I'm throwing that straight away. So, credit where it's due and criticism where it's due, I think, here. Because if we go back to pre-snap information, you can quite clearly see his reads, technically speaking, the left. But this is where an Aaron Rodgers would say, okay, my reads are 1, 2, 3, left to right on this play. Because obviously, wide side of the field, only two defenders technically over here. So if it's zone or if it's man, we should have something popping open over here. This is quite clearly what the play design is. But an Aaron Rodgers is saying, okay, I've got a man over here. I've got a man one high. I'm going to throw it. And that's because at the end of the day, if you underthrow it, if you back shoulder that, if you don't catch it, you're getting the PI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with this coverage, this is a nice coverage here by San Fran. I mean, you basically have a locked man at the top of the screen. You're cheating Hufanga towards the trips on the opposite side. On the bottom of the screen, you got, it looks like a zone dropper deep down the bottom of the screen. Got a flat defender underneath on Mooney. You got kind of a single high safety, and then you got Hufanga basically poaching deep crossers from the opposite side of the field. The backer underneath is actually keying in on the running back. So that's what you can see right there. Near the 20-yard symbol, he's actually keying in on Montgomery. So this is a good little hybrid coverage right here by San Fran, playing some chess right now early on.
How much effect does water have in throwing the ball deep? Throwing the ball at all, it has a massive effect. Take anything made out of leather, get it nice and wet, and then try and grip hold of it tighter. Mm-hmm. Try and hold it tighter, then inflate it, and then try and hold it tighter.
There's a lot of quarterbacks that hate how slick the footballs are on a dry day. They rub dirt on them. It's oil and water don't mix. Those balls are kind of oily when they're brand new like that, so they try to scuff them up. It's a nightmare.
Yes. So again, in terms of the deep stuff for later, what we're looking at for later, I mean, at the end of the day, one high, singled man, that's where I'm going with it. But quite clearly, play design, I don't think these are actually viable routes in this. I think that it's a designed screen. So, I mean, let's see what we get. It looks like a design screen. And that's where Justin has to underhand the ball because, again, we've lost on the inside. And then Demo does Demo things. I mean, that is pretty special stuff. So, again, is he actually looking deep? Well, yes, quite clearly. Okay, in terms of reads, let's watch his head. Where is he looking? It's quite clearly we've got that one high safety that's kind of over here, isn't he? If you remember, when I put the line down the screen, he was to this side, wasn't he? He was over here somewhere, almost behind Warner, wasn't he, in terms of verticality? Mm-hmm. So what we're seeing is we're looking at that, but we're also seeing where Hufanga goes to see if he goes too deep or what we've got. But I think ultimately this is basically just literally looking stuff off. You see him go left to commit there in terms of where he's looking. Here, he's going left. And I think ultimately this is to try and move these guys and nothing more, these looks, because I think this is what it is all the way. So, again, the problem we get is we split the man. It's a stunt, a big loop stunt. Sam goes too early, really, for me on this. Although, you want him to go up and make contact with that, that's fine. But this is just departing a little bit too early for me. In terms of Justin's not even got the ball up to throw it. He can't quite, very clearly he cannot throw it yet. And then we've got this loop stunt, which is completely lost because these are the two that are departing. Braxton's put in a really horrible position, and people gave Braxton a lot of shit for this, and ultimately, he's put in a bad position there in terms of he's got 2 men to block on a stunt, which is looped both to his side. So
you made a really good point about Hufanga stacking behind the passing strength side linebacker.
Yeah.
We'll see it. We'll see it here in a few reps. I got a feeling.
Fields no longer has an elongated motion, so I don't know where that's coming from. I hear a lot of people talking about mechanics, and I speak with someone who's very, very astute QB coach, Austin Carter Samuel, locked in QB, if you want to have a look at him and what he's doing. But he's one of the things that he's working on with people is the ability to be able to throw off platform but off a base, and the base is the back foot. If you think about throwing a pitch, you throw a pitch off your back foot, not your front foot. Yeah, you might step forward, but the power comes from the back foot. Justin's actually changed this, and the speed of his release is much quicker now than it ever was, because he used to loop to throw. Now he doesn't. He pivots the elbow and arm. So it's changed significantly. And again, you want to know about sort of what Justin's coping with, what he's dealing with.
Look at him stepping on his feet.
Stepped on.
You see where I've frozen it.
Yeah, this happened quite a few times last week as well. I
Yep.
mean, this is again, he keeps stepping on his feet.
The reason why is Braxton has been the culprit for a lot of the stepping on the feet, and part of the problem is he's taking too larger steps and
Yes.
too few. So too few, too large, because he's having to adapt. And it's something that coaching he will be improving. He is improving. So again, I'm not going to be able to get to all the chat because I'm actually having to do the producing and look at what we're looking at. So Justin, then we're still going to adapt, and that's a pretty good adaptation. If we were talking about Aaron Rodgers doing this, there'd be a lot of hoopla, but we're talking about Justin Fields, and he isn't the QB. We're going to have to draft another one this year. Sam completely whiffs here, but it doesn't matter because it's David Montgomery. That first guy is not going to tackle him. You see him stiff arm him into a let's send out the coffin dance, because at the end of the day, this guy is going into a box on the ground there. David goes past again. The tight end is the wrong side of the defender he wants to get a block on. Sorry, Cody Whitehair. Darnell Mooney doing the same thing that Darnell Mooney does on every single run play, blocking his absolute ass off. He really is a fantastic blocker at wide receiver, especially sort of, you talk about pound for pound. Javon Kinlaw. Can Javon Kinlaw get David Montgomery? No. Okay, Cole Kmet. You see David's pushing to outside to slow up his feet. He's actually giving Cole a really good chance to be able to cut back off this. And Cole doesn't get him, doesn't get a piece. So, again, I mean, in terms of we're 3 players in now, we've actually got a first down. So, and now we're in the I formation. Obviously, personnel-wise, I mean, things are quite clearly changed. Tight end, fullback blazing game, and halfback. So I formation. So what are San Francisco doing? What are they showing us again pre-snap? Well,
base 4-3.
And you got corner to that side, so we're kind of looking zone. So we think maybe that might be a nice matchup here. And Hufanga's the deep man. But let's see what we actually get off that. So where this comes now, look at the attitude change of the linebackers, what they've done.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that pull. But Cody doesn't. If Cody just comes a little bit more towards him rather than sitting here, we don't give away pass so quickly. And you can quite clearly see these guys are actually biting on this. They've got the ball out for a play fake, but this looks like we're actually in receiving. Obviously, that's to that side. That's a block. Cody just sits a little bit too early. Griffin, I'd like to see a steeper angle.
Yep.
Here,
absolutely,
based upon where he is. And again, this is a designed rub, isn't it? This concept here, in terms of what we're looking at. So Ryan Griffin again, just he's kind of running into trouble with this. And this is the isolation man at the end of the day. This is the read off the back of this boot action. Is we wanted him to commit one way or the other, because these are running off these two guys and also getting like a man rub. If it's man, it's going to rub. If it's zone, we're trying to run them off. And again, there's that sort of deep out. This is supposed to, for me, Ryan Griffin should be kind of in here.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Got to get depth and put that guy in conflict. He's either got to sink underneath Griffin or give up the scramble, or play up and give up the dump off.
And you can even see you can even see Justin's like, yo, dude.
Yeah,
get deeper.
With him not getting the correct depth, he's helping out the defender totally.
Exactly.
And he doesn't have to choose because he's in the middle of it all. So he doesn't have to make a choice. If he gets the correct depth, he forces that DB. You're either going to come with me, and then my quarterback will go ahead and probably get 5 to 10 yards off of that, or you're going to go with my quarterback and we're going to get 15 to 20 yards off that, because no one is around him if he runs that correct depth.
I think that this is like, obviously we're first game of the season. This is stuff where it's like, okay, we're running this as it's written in the playbook on the paper. But like over the course of the year, you're going to start to see these guys finding grass against zone. They're going to be like, oh, there's a patch of green. Let's go stand there and help my quarterback out. Right now, in this point of the season, we're just kind of like, okay, I'm running the underneath, it's not really a slide. He's not underneath, but he's running the shallow cross right here. When you're running into a flat defender and the quarterback is also near the flat defender, elevate a little bit and create some gap for him. I mean, just a small thing that could have turned this into a big play.
Absolutely. As my wide receiver coach used to tell me, Coach Campbell at University of Michigan, he is now the AD at Iowa, you run the play to get open. You don't run to be covered. You run to get open. And if there's open field, you go to the open field.
And this is one of the coaching points that you use this tape to sort of, when you're looking for later in the season, you say, well, okay, if we get a one high look again, and we know clearly it's zone by alignment, cornerback over tight end, we know it's zone. So we know it's one high, they're quite clearly showing it, or possibly 3. Yeah. And again, it's the relation of this to this for me, which is the key here, because he quite clearly is going deep. He's quite clearly going deep. So it could even be like a bluff 2.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? So this is the sort of the read for me. But Griffin needs to understand on tape, if we've got this over here, we're not up in man. So let's just say this guy is up here. Then, yeah, that angle might be flatter because we're going to have to wait for him to clear. If he's this far away and he's this far away, I know I'm going to be able to go there because I know these routes are going, Darnell's going to basically come up underneath this coming out, and then he's going to come here. And that's basically what we've got, is like, it's almost designed to be like, 1, 2, 3, flood to this side. That's what it looks like on the route to me. So, and again, there's Blazing Game. Blazing Game's blocking the wide 9, which he does a good job. Griffin is nowhere near the depth. If he's here, I mean, he's getting 20, 30 yards plus. But Justin has to hold it, and he's saying, push him downfield. No, go Ryan. And then he has to lob it up over the top of him, and then, the ball takes an age to come down. It jumps, makes it what I think is a good catch, but then he loses it on connection with the ground, and ultimately we don't get the catch. But again, it's Justin doing the right things. Absolutely is. And where he's seeing Griffin here, and he's actually looking at the guy that's covered that. If you just look this way, just even a touch,
oh man,
yeah, just veer it.
There.
It's wide open. He's gonna toss it right over top, and then you go. Just veer it, man. It's like he's like a robot. Like, I gotta run it at 5 yards at the correct depth. Like, no, just veer it, man.
Yeah, don't be a robot. I mean,
sight adjust always.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And this is the thing, is like, we're talking about Justin Fields making adaptations and trying to lift and elevate everybody else. They've got to help him out. I mean, if you got that in front of you, why are you looking back at the cube? Yeah,
exactly. Are you going to pass it?
Yeah, is it coming to me? Am I going to catch the ball? Well, no, not if you keep running straight at this dude. You know what I mean? It's like, you're running into coverage, Ryan. Just get a bit more depth, and then I can. And then Justin says, "Look, just run deep, dude."
You see, he's pumping the ball like go. He's still not catching on. But again, as Zan said, as the season goes on, these guys will they will adapt and they will go to open field. But as you can see, Justin is pumping them like, "Go, man, go! Like, go! I'm trying to get you to go." Other than what he wanted to point at him, like, damn it, look, go here. Jesus.
And then eventually he has to sort of lollipop it up and over, and he goes up, makes a catch. Yeah, good catch with your feet and that, but you got to secure the ball into your body. You see the distance.
That one was called back, right?
Yeah, they called
Yeah.
it. He went to the ground but didn't secure it against the ground.
Okay.
So if you look where he's catching it there, yeah, separation from the body. But what do you need to do when you're catching a sideline ball, Nez?
Absolutely. Catch with your hands and get both feet down. Secure the ball as after you hit the ground.
And pull this shit into your body. Don't have it that far away from your body. That's
this route combination off of the boot action is a staple of this offense. It's going to become a bread and butter call. So as frustrating as that rep is, like, I know, even 3 weeks from now, you're going to look at it and be like, wow, how different that looks from the Niner game.
So again, clues as to what you get in pre-snap, because this is what Justin's going to be looking at. But obviously, yeah, yep. And what we've also got is Hufanga, and I think this might even be the interception, because this is an odd alignment. This is a where's Waldo? That's an.
Is he bailing here at the snap? Is he moving at this point, backpedaling?
He does. He sort of rolls. It almost rolls into like a 2. So it's a robber, and he's seeing.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's kind of like a cover 3 robber right there. He drops to the middle.
Mm-hmm. And this is where he hides behind the weak side linebacker, right?
Mm-hmm.
You've got like a 3 non-down lineman bluff or blitz. So we could be getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could be getting 6. We could be dropping these 3 and getting 3. We don't know. And at the end of the day, this is what Justin's having to account for. You think this isn't affecting him not seeing this drop back? Because I would contend, I'll posit it to you, gentlemen. I posit it to you. This is the lawyer in me coming out now. I posit it to you that there is a possibility that the attention is here and not here.
Yep.
So let's roll it, keep going, and then we do get the 2 bluff under. So we got 4 under, and it is. I think it's like a cover 2, but robber. So deepest man, shallowest man. But if they both go deep, it would be halves. But equally, you're the deepest man. I'm basically going to rob. And it's what he does. And in terms of route combination, if this is looking at and this again is part of the baiting. You look at the relation there in terms of depth for where this is going to be open. In terms of the window that Justin's going to be looking to throw this ball, because again, all we got really at the moment is flat or this window.
Yeah, when I take a look at this play, I can't imagine at all that Justin saw Hufanga. I think he sees the backer underneath, and that line, that plane that you would be looking at, he sees the backer on the 40, and he knows that he's got the intermediate route breaking in at a depth too far for that backer to drop underneath. He just doesn't see Hufanga. I mean, the processing was right, but it was wrong because there was a guy he couldn't see, right? Like what he's looking at is the safety, the outside corner, and the 2 underneath backers. He has no idea that there's a guy poaching the crosser from the backside. He just can't see him.
There are probably 26 safeties in the NFL that don't break on this ball as quickly as Hufanga does. And it's one of the things
anticipated it.
Yeah, I mean, he breaks on it like super, super early as well. Justin throws it, and then, we're in the wet, let's not forget. And that's why it gets picked off, is because of that under. And again, I think his eyes were taken off it. And one of the things that's been said this week, and I think it has a direct relationship to this. Last year, the center, Sam Mustafa, was calling the protections. So, in terms of what we're getting in that A-gap bluff, that was him calling it. This year, it's not. It's in shotgun. It's Justin Fields calling the protections as well. And I think in terms of, where this is, because Sam's just basically looking at Justin to snap the ball. He's not looking at what is there in front of him. And I think this is something that Getsy, again, is going to have to think about adapting for this specific reason. Because Justin's having to call this, you can quite clearly see that when he snaps the ball, he looks down and he's not accounting for this. If the center is making a decision and you get the go signed by the guard, then Justin isn't having to adapt that. And this is a problem as well in terms of ball location on that snap. Look how wide that is.
Very wide.
Well, that's
Kind of
where
like
it's
in those stance that those defensive ends used to be in back in when Detroit had those amazing they had Averill and Ansa, and they used to do the wide 9. You know, when they
That
would
was
take
Jim
those.
Schwartz, right?
Yeah, yep, with the wide 9. It kind of reminded me of that whole ordeal with the DNs out there, and it kind of like in a track stance, wide 9 with the hands in the dirt.
I think part of the problem is, sorry, Zan. I think part of the problem is Justin is actually reading, because he needs to know whether he's got to go quick, whether he's got to go hot to here. He needs to know that, and the only way he's going to do that is by watching these guys, and that's why Hafanga's gone out there.
And I'm broken record on this, but not even 2 seconds prior, Justin Fields saw Hufanga sitting, about 6-7 yards off the ball outside of the left defensive end on the screen. He gets a snap to the right of his body. He's got a double A gap mug look. He just doesn't see the man. He sees the linebackers bail out into hooks. He has no idea Hufanga is sitting right behind. Is that Al Shair that's on the left inside? The left circle that you have. Either way, that linebacker right there, he just cannot, he has no idea Fanga's back there. He's reading the middle of the field safety. He sees the spread of the 2 hook defenders. He knows I'm ripping the ball between these linebackers. And there you go. That line right there. He does not see number 29 sitting behind 57. And he sees that fanning of the linebackers in the middle and the deep safety kind of sagging off the combo. He knows he's ripping that intermediate middle throw, and the guy just poaches it. It's just a really good. It was a good read by Fields, given the information he had, but an even better play by the defender.
Yeah, that was a hell of a defensive play.
And that's the thing is, like, Justin got absolutely slated for this. Why didn't you see him going back there? Well, he's got a double A mug. The guys aligned really wide. It's one high showing. He needs to look at the double A to see what they're doing, whether they're coming or going. When he sees them go, they drop into what looks like a 4 under zone. Both the aim gap mugs look like they're a 4 under, which would mean that this area here would be exactly where you would want to throw it to, which is where it does. And that's where Hufanga has dropped to sort of, this position here off that initial bluff. And he's at the depth where this baited window with the one high safety is. The one high has stayed so far back, I think, to bait the throw, because that's the rubber. That's what they want to rob with Hufanga. It's a design. And unfortunately, we had the route concept which played directly into that. Yeah, it's a real problem that Justin Fields as a 11 games in hasn't yet developed X-ray vision. So I think that's actually a very astute observation there. So we're gonna start rolling through these. I mean, obviously, in terms of now we're actually getting some motions, which is useful.
I think you ought to use motion every play in the NFL. If you can. It gives you information.
Yes,
I got so tired of watching us sit at the line of scrimmage under Nagy for and it sounded like just a cheap narrative, but it was like, really, I mean, breaking the huddle late, sitting there stationary in the shotgun, and you can do nothing with the pre-snap information because there's no time to check. And we didn't use motion either. I love that we use it this year.
I love, and I want to sort of I'm going to try and zoom in on this a little bit, because what you notice at the snap here is, and this, a lot of people aren't going to notice this and they're not going to talk about it. Where are Justin's eyes? I mean, he's literally just got the ball into his hands. Where are his eyes? He's already reading the field. He's not even taken a step yet. He's literally just secured the ball from center. He's already looking at where the one high safety is. He's looking at the relation of these, because these were initially up. So now we're looking like cover 3 instead of cover 1, which would mean 4 under. I like that his eyes are already up. You see him now. He's quite clearly trying to move. Looking over that way. Fall back to flat. We know this linebacker is going to be here with cover 3. Again, you'd think this would be open if this is anything in breaking here.
Yes.
Under. But Cole Kmet is coming around the back, and that's to take it over. So it's actually Cole. And then it's a screen. So it's just a dump off under. So all of that, and then the lineman, we get so many out. This is such a disappointing play for me. This is not Cody Whitehair's man. Really. But I mean, at the end of the day, if you're going to go back in, you need to get something on him, dude. There's no excuse for this. And I think it's just overrunning. You see him, and then 1, 2, 3, go. There's the dump off, and look how wide he's gone.
Yeah, just
That was
that's
Kari.
what it was.
What was his name? Blasting game. Kari Blasting game.
Yeah, blasting game.
Yeah, that was his block that he blew.
Well, these are the two, and they both go completely nowhere near the man.
Yeah.
You know, if you know your halfback is here, I want to be sat in front of him. I want to literally.
It feels a little bit jittery, like first game of the season, go. Like, just slow down, let it come to you.
Yeah, and I think maybe they've been told about pace and loafs and all the rest of it, and that's the first thing that's in the mind, not where is actually my target. Because that's if I'm 1, 2, 3 go, the next thing I want to look at is where's my target, and that's where I want to be. That's where I want to be running to. I know where my running back's going to be. Where's my target? I need to put myself between the running back and wherever the target is. That's the position on the field I need to get to. I don't need to run to where he is. I need to run to where it puts me between him and my running back. And neither of these guys have done a particularly good job on this play of it. And at the end of the day, we're talking. He's taking too many checkdowns, gets his dumbing down the playbook. He's not letting Justin throw the ball deep. Well, we've had 2 balls thrown deep, and we had quite a sophisticated. And again, in terms of no pre-snap motion again it's gun. So we don't have any subterfuge of anything but a draw or potentially RPO if it's going to be any run. You might think potential RPO if you've got tight end over there. That's the only thing you've really got to sort of hold the attention of these guys. It looks quite clearly cover 2 or cover 6 again. Cover 6 because outside alignment and off. Up in man, I would bang. Nez, cover 2 or cover 6 based upon what we're seeing.
This is cover 6. Like you said, you got the off. You got the man that's playing up and off at the top there, right here at the bottom. He's on it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So I was just going to say, Zan, same question: cover 2 or cover 6 based upon what we're seeing.
I am in total agreement. This is cover 6. You've got basically a solo check on the backside. That's man lock. Down near side linebacker from our point of view is keyed in on the running back. If he runs anything out of the backfield, that's his guy. On the top of the screen, you're playing quarter. You've got a quarter flat defender underneath at the top linebacker, 3 rec defender. Basically, Hafanga on the backside, he's kind of allowed to do a little bit of ad-libbing and even cheat. He's technically responsible for the deep half on the short side of the field, but he can get over there if he so chooses to help out with the bunch set. Or if he feels like he needs to help out his underneath corner, he can do that as well. It just depends on how it's taught. Yeah,
I mean, on the cover 6 side of things, it's outside man, middle man, inside man, and it's almost like the way I would teach this zone is, okay, you've only got 3 over here. This is your first man in, last man out principle over this side of the field. If we're going to get a crosser, he's so wide, it's going to be one of these 2. So we don't need to worry about that early. And the linebackers have got so much depth and time in terms of what Justin's got in front of him, developing in terms of protection. You see they're pinching and the defensive tackles both pinch to get the tackles isolated on the outside. So pinch to isolate the inside 3. Leave your tackles one-on-one. What does that do in terms of the rush? Well, again, Braxton's getting bullied, falls off, and I think Khalil Herbert actually gets a little bit on the other one, and that kind of Larry oversteps here to the outside. But at the end of the day, it's Braxton's giving up the sack. And the reason why he gives up the sack, again, is because of the pinch, the internal pinch. So
if you watch this develop, like receivers are not even able to get into their route. By the time they're getting to mid-route, it's a sack. It's over.
Yeah, so the point in which we're asking to Justin to throw the ball is got to be now. In fact, I would say it's now.
There's not a soul available to him right here at this point.
At all.
No, and that's we're talking about what's Justin going to do? Why is he not throwing it? Why is he not throwing the check down to Khalil Herbert? He's quite clearly open. Why is he not throwing it to Darnell Mooney? He's quite clearly
he's getting hit at that point.
Yeah. So let's just be real. I mean, what I hope to do by doing this with you guys is to give context, to evaluate what we're seeing. Yeah, evaluate what we're seeing, fine. And again, the snap on this. Look how far right it is again.
I went into this film session with you guys with one goal, and it was not to go crazy on Sam Mustafa. So I'm gonna try to continue doing this as we go through this. But I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even know how bad the snaps were. I've just, in terms of just what I've seen this year, I've been very underwhelmed. I mean, but even when you start to point out the things as a former offensive lineman, George, it's just like, yeah, I see, because offensive line play is not really where my forte is. It's more schematics. And the things that you point out just like get me hotter under the collar than I already was about it.
So things I like on the offensive line in terms of the position here. What I like is you see the post step because they already see the inside pinch. So this tells you got two very, very savvy guards because they're post stepping with these inside feet to brace this.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing exactly the right thing you would want to see them do. So that's very, very savvy. This is where Lucas Patrick is different to Tevin Jenkins. Tevin Jenkins hasn't developed this nuance yet. He's new to the position. Lucas Patrick has, and you're quite clearly seeing it. In terms of pass set, look at where Larry's ass is. Look at where Braxton's ass is. The reason why Larry is having more success is because he's not stood bolt ass upright.
Like you got a stick up his ass. That's how he looks.
Yep.
And then even then, if you look at again, look at the clearance. Okay, so again, in terms of distinction, look at the clearance that we get. It's not so much where the toe hits; it's where the heel hits. So we see ground clearance here, we see ground clearance here, but ultimately, as we go frame by frame on this pass protection, pushing off the inside foot, we're kind of dragging here. You want to be above the ground on that inside step. And again, toe step in. That's a good position there. That's not a good position.
He was upright and narrow.
and then he had to chase because he was too narrow.
Yep.
So because he's too narrow, he has to get wider with his feet because he's too. When you're narrow, your feet are very close together. When you're down, your feet have to be apart because your ass is out. Yeah. So imagine you twerking or whatever. You can't do that. You can't do that with your feet together, can you? You need your feet to. And the same is true. If you stood bolt upright, you're not going to be able to get your ass back. You're going to have to. If you need to now make lateral motion, you have to take bigger steps. Mm-hmm. And the bigger steps we're seeing is why it gets crossed up. And against a Nick Bosa, it's a recipe for disaster. I mean, let's not forget on the inside, we've got Arik Armstead and Javon Kinlaw, and we handle that pretty well. So much so, when they start to try and stunt on the inside, Cody actually does come off, and he tries to help Braxton, but it's too late at that point. And, that's why, again, Justin had nothing to throw to, and we're now into the second quarter. Mm. Yeah, so there we go. We've got the proof in the audience. He just got up and tried to twerk, stood up, or with his ass back. And indeed, it is true. It is true. So thank you, Ryan. Thank you for just demonstrating that technique for me. I really appreciate it. Overall impression to Getsy, way too early for me to make a decision.
I agree.
So in terms of what we're getting, again, in terms of look, in terms of relation, again, the one thing I try and teach on this channel when I try and teach people, and Zan, I'm pretty sure that you do the same with what you're doing, and Nez, in terms of as a former D1 wide receiver, alignment tells you a lot. Even when you've got someone that's off, and quite clearly off in what looks like cover three, the alignment tells you whether you are actually in fact man and it's one, or whether your alignment is wide and you're more likely to be three. So if it's three, then you would expect four. Okay, under. Do you agree? Flat, middle.
Mm-hmm.
So in terms of what do we have on the field? Well, 12, but shotgun. Mm-hmm. And we're in relationship, we're actually quite tight, aren't we? Yep. Against cover three. So thinking about, where we're going to be able to attack. If it's cover three, you're looking at seams and then kind of behind. So you need to run something under and then something over. So that's way two. And then here is kind of where you're looking at for throws. Would you agree?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting too much outside with the leverage of the outside corners. You're definitely looking middle of the field here.
So again, what are we actually getting? I think we get mirror routes here against cover 3, 4 under. Yeah, it's stick, isn't it?
Yeah.
So against, we can already say that's foobar, that's foobar. So, but we should have on cover 3, if we're early enough, we should have these outs. And you can quite clearly see in terms of, that's 1 frame, that's 2 frame. This is 30 frames per second. So we can count the frames. We can do some quick math. 1 frame, 2 frame, 3 frame, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The ball's out of his hand.
So a little over a third of a second.
Yeah, a little over a third of a second from decision to throw. That's pretty quick release, I would suggest. In terms of position in alignment, where does this ball need to go? Does it need to go inside? Does it need to go out? When we quite clearly it needs to go towards the outside. Where does it go in? And the problem is, you see here, he's kind of he's trying to whip the ball around. I'm not even sure whether this actually gets tipped, by 56. Because that goes very close to his left hand, and the ball, you see the ball almost like it does that. And you see it's inside, and that's why the contact is made. And again, we're talking about very wet conditions. So let's have a look, see what we actually get in terms of this. Is it the right decision?
Another bad snap.
Very bad snap.
Shocker. And where is it, Zan? It's down and to the right again.
Yeah, it's always right.
Everything's to the right.
I can't unsee it.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry I triggered you to it, but kind of sorry, not sorry. But in terms of decision, then, so in terms of what we got, we know these two are just dead. They're dead in the water. So we do know against cover 3, those 2 outs, they're on. So in terms of, is Justin making the right decision? I would say yes.
Yeah. That call's kind of dead in the water. I mean, you really have only 2 routes available that you could throw, and you got to throw them quick. It's just both out routes, and you're only going to pick up 6 yards with a good ball. I mean, in that spot, he did what he could with the information he had. Just unfortunately not the best play call for the coverage.
I think the problem is here. If you notice where he's actually going, he actually closes his hips off by stepping forward too early. You see, he's planted his foot already, but he's not pushing off the back foot yet. And then he tries to rotate the right hip through, and it's closed himself off. And that's kind of why he then has to try and push the ball with his hand rather than throw the ball. And I think that's because he's actually closed his hip at this point. And that's why we get this. But in terms of arm angle, that's exactly where you kind of want it with this kind of throw to get the revolution. And the only problem is because, again, we're talking about semantics very, very, very early in the season. It's actually a decent throw, but the corner has done well to close the gap and separate man from the ball. So again, in terms of relation, again, off and out, off and out, off and over. Okay, so again, we got what looks like cover 4 now, because we're third and long, presumably. In terms of read men, with your 3 to that side and your half back to the other side, you're kind of expecting, this to be married. But it depends what this guy does for me, based upon where this is going, because obviously against 4, you kind of want something middle of the field, don't you? But let's see what we get in terms of routes. Could they have asked Mustafa to snap right, or is that silly? I'm pretty sure they probably are asking him to snap correctly, but there's asking and getting. So what's just happened?
Well, right here at the snap, I'm seeing Hufanga is definitely backpedaling towards the boundary here. So I'm thinking maybe we're getting maybe a 2 read. Let's see here.
I think it's 3 rubber again. I think this is exactly they're trying to bait, because we've got the 3
trying to bait him again. Through the first interception.
So bearing in mind he has thrown that first interception, and we're getting the same look, because if you remember, it was like a tight trips, wasn't it, last time? This time we still got 3, so it's quite clearly this is something they want to bait, because he's dropping, saying, "Okay, yeah, throw it." Well, shit, I didn't want to do that.
Oh damn!
I think that was it.
Yeah, that's next play, isn't it? Yeah, it's this one. Right, there we go.
All right.
So let's try not to do that again. But again, I think what they're basically trying to say is, okay, let's bait this, and that's exactly where we want it to go. So he's made that mistake once. So is he learning? Well, quite clearly, he's saying, okay, I'm just going to take that dump off. And why is he choosing this? Why is he backing off? Why is he taking the dump to Demo?
I think it's probably a combination of he threw the pick on the last play, and he's really had some pressure in his lap through this portion of the game thus far. So maybe a combination of I've made up his mind already, but at this point, yet again, you don't have anything from your receivers or your tight end. So yeah, I mean, that's what you have. Throw it. And that backer is definitely hauling ass downhill at 32 right there. So you're not getting much out of this.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you could then sort of say is like, if you can read him,
yeah,
could you clutch it and then throw it behind him? I don't know, not really. You got to make a decision because at the end of the day, that's what you got in front of you. So he throws it. We do get two people out in front. Demo, okay, what's Demo doing? Pushes out and in. Problem is we lose Bosa on the back end. We're getting very little.
They're doing a really good job of mixing up 1 robber, 3 cover 6, all from 2 high looks. I mean, this is what everybody in the league feels like everybody's doing right now. It's a tough read. Everything looks the same.
So Demo does pretty well there for me. Okay, so we're actually getting the motion this time, and we again 12 personnel. In terms of relationships again, we're getting 12 personnel. This is going to tell us a lot. Okay, so where's Justin looking? You can quite clearly see his helmet's turned this way. So is he making the right reads? I'm just going to let you guys answer. I'm just going to let it run. Okay, so what's happening now?
Well, you're seeing zone initially here because you didn't get a follow.
They're waiting for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then backside boot. And this is what I'm talking about. Yeah, I spoke off air to, and this is to you, the audience. I spoke off air to both Nez and to Zan previously about the amount of times that we've seen teams where you got 1, 2, 3 defenders against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with a receiver over that side. You got 3 against 6 here, and then look at everybody shit in the pants trying to get across the field because Justin is out bailing and hauling ass. Now, if you want to do a throwback at this point, we're still well behind the line of scrimmage. So he could stop, sit his feet, and then if these guys were tighter, we'd have a convoy down to the end zone. So in terms of this being something, what I like is that the amount of hauling ass that we're getting downfield. And I think it's only D-March, Darnell. His guy fall, that guy goes down, so he says, okay, you're down the ground, watch him now. Tries to get a piece. And Justin gets the first down. And at the end of the day, this is the drive where nothing had gone right for him really. And he just said, okay, well if I ain't got an option to drive, I'm just gonna run. And that's basically what he did. And it was the drive where I think this might be where we get the Pettis touchdown, or it might be the one after this. But I love that Demo is like, okay, well that guy's fallen to ground. Let me get another one.
I love how just down to down Mooney is, no matter what his assignment is, he just effort always, always great blocker. I mean,
so I'm gonna let you guys talk for a bit because I've been talking way too much. So in terms of what are we seeing pre-snap? Again, as the motion comes, look what happens up here, and then look what happens here as this motion comes across.
You see him call him over on his side.
Yeah.
Because again, like you said, they're waiting for it. So as I think that's Ofanga. He motions. He motions to him. If you run it back, he motions to that back safety and he tells him, come down. This is where the play is going. Run it back a little bit as he signals back to him. You see him right there? He's telling him, come down. And then as he
I think he's actually saying go over the back. I think what he's actually saying is this guy's going to be mine, but I'm going to. I think this is a screen. I think they've seen this on tape from Green Bay tape. He's
actually telling, wrong.
Yeah, well, I mean, let's see what they get.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the same play there. I thought that was the same naked boot we was looking at.
No, this is the one after.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yeah, they scouted that play out pretty well. They knew it was coming.
The thing is, and this is where it is, because he's off there. You see him say basically, I am not taking this man. We are now in 0. So we've gone from looking like we're in cover 3 to going up into press, staying out instead of being outside alignment. Nez, what have we seen here? Well, he's gone over the top.
Mhm.
So what's that telling us? And maybe even slightly inside. Well, that's telling me now this has changed to man. This has changed to man. This has changed to man. This guy, okay, where's he going? Is he a one high safety? Well, then as the motion gets to here, look how wide he is from centre.
Yeah.
Okay, so and then look Hufanga, instead of being over the top, the only man that's not over the top, he's over the top. The only man who's not there. So Cole is the catch man, but we're too wide. At the end of the day, you've got to get here because this guy's come up. So again, whilst it's drawn up that you block that guy and then you block that guy and then I just catch it here and then I have to make him miss.
You got to make a play.
He's rolled up, so and then now you see him deviate. That's the problem. Is again, it's early in the season, so am I being harsh? Yeah, probably a little bit on Ryan Griffin on this one, but I think he needs to take a line sort of straight to here. Then he's got a chance of actually being in position, but Hufanga's too quick for that. In terms of the throw, we'll look at it from the backfield, see what happened on the throw. So there goes the motion. You can see Gibson Senior at the bottom of the screen going over. You see the linebacker going wide. Justin has to literally turn, pivot, and launch it. Again, we've got that closed hip. He's striding forward too far. See it? Not pushing off that back foot.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just trying to steer the ball. Again, the ball's wet as ass now because we're in the second half. This is when it was absolutely slating it down. So again, tight end on the boundary. So Zan and Nez. Tight end on the boundary. By alignment, we got a corner over the top. Okay, so then we put him in motion. Okay, it still looks like zone to me. Still looks like
zone.
It's zone.
Still looks cover 3, but I would suggest we cover 3 match. And the reason why I suggest we cover 3 match is alignment here. So we'll see. We'll see what it is. So we've got some sort of action again. And this time is much, much deeper. You see, he hasn't squeezed down. So, and this is what happened against the Texans as well.
Yeah.
Whereas first off, they were squeezing down on the backside. They weren't. They were just running to where.
You had a free run at the quarterback.
Yeah. Run to where the QB is because we're not worried about this cutback. Because we think it might be play action. So that's what teams are starting to do. And if this is the case, if this guy's going to be detached, I almost want to have like a counter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, belly it.
And I'll keep doing that, and then I'll just do a counter off that look because that looks pretty nice there. So again,
it's there except for the guy staying home.
Yeah, which is Hufanga again. So in terms of routes, what are we getting against cover 3? Well, nowhere near seam again, outside to in, so they can, and you got one over the top as well. So underneath and looking back at Mooney. So going across this side of the field, that's not really the only guy we've got on realistically for me. And I'll let you put your cover 3 match route. Yeah. So, I mean, what are you thinking? And Justin, again, tries to give him a clue. I mean, Cole, okay, you want to run a route. You want to run a route. Do you see where I'm pointing, Cole? Do you see what I'm pointing at, Cole? Just out of interest, do you see the dude that I'm pointing at that shouldn't be there, that is there? And Cole's like, well, I want to run a route here. And like Justin's like, no, I just want you to block him.
Just block him.
But anyway, we don't. But Justin still,
a lot of my times, man, I'd be wondering, what the hell is Cole looking at? What is he looking at in that situation? Especially when he see that, okay, he's taking off the run. your eyes are right there in the same vicinity as Justin's, right? You're in the same peripheral vision. After
He's
he
trying
makes
to he's trying to sell this to like half a tick too long for me.
Yeah, selling the zone block and then pivoting back out to the flat, but then he's got to side adjust and either find the turf, or if you're going to be in the way, block somebody.
exactly.
So for me, again, if I'm coaching, what I'm saying to you is, firstly, understand the alignment that you're facing, Cole. You got like a 9, you got like a 5i, almost a 4. In terms, in fact, it's like, I don't know, would you call it a 4i? 4i, and going across. I mean, obviously they're zoning over this way. We're zoning. Are you going to be able to sell a block to a guy that's already inside the tackle that's going across? Are you going to be able to sell this? No. The only one you might be able to sell it on is there. Okay, so where's Cole going? He's going down towards this dude. Are we going to sell that? No, not really. He's still putting his hands out. Now he needs to be coming for me. Right now he needs to plant and go. And we take, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps. Then we take a turn like a super tanker in the ocean, where we take 3 miles to turn, and then we don't accelerate again. We're taking skippy steps. Justin's pointing at him, dude. Just take the clue right there. Look, I mean, there you go. There's the hand.
It's like he's in between doing 3 things at the same time and decides to do nothing.
Yeah, I think that's a part of it. Yeah, could Justin throw it to him? Well, he's tucking the ball at this point, so
Yeah, at that point he's running,
and he gets the first. And he gets the first down out of it. So, let's be real. It looks like, again, we're looking like cover 6. The only difference is, again, alignment. So if this guy was here and this guy was here, I'd be saying cover 6. And in terms of where he's aligned from center, he's much closer to center. So
are you telling me slot blitz? I don't recall this play. Are you telling me slot blitz off the top here?
I mean, it looks like, for me, that's what I'm suspecting, because he's inside and he's really sort of selling the 1,000-yard stare at the wide receiver who's a yard away from him. So I'm thinking that's where pressure might be coming from, and we've got a safety over the top. And again, in terms of where he widens out, we get a very late move here. So let's see what we get. And it is.
Good call.
And again, it's so subtle, because if he's here, I'm thinking cover 6, with the off and the up. But because he's literally right over him, and this guy's doing the 1,000-yard stare straight at the wide receiver, that's where the pressure's coming from. Now, Demo does Demo things again. And Braxton does a much, much, much better job on pass pro on this one. And I love Tevin just absolutely snotting. Just absolutely crushes Bosa.
Yeah, he did.
And then he goes down to Armstead and chases Armstead off the field. And Justin made this, really, to be honest. I mean, he got something out of nothing there. But again,
Braxton had a really good 2-play sequence. I think he planted 98 on the previous rep too. Yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is for me as well is that, like I said, that's a teaching point over here with the corner, the alignment where he's half a step inside, you get someone over the top. Keeping you up, Nez.
I'm here, baby.
I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, Braxton is doing a much better job here. You see, he gets that hard sell upfield and then comes inside. So what does he do? Post step. You see that right foot post step back to the inside.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's what Larry needs to do a bit better. It's the only thing that Larry really sort of needs to add to his game. I love Larry's body position here. It's exactly where you want to be in terms of coiled. Your weight's back, but you're still forward. In terms of pass pro up front, this is a pretty good job there. Again, you see how Tevin's half manning because he's allowing the centre to get across half man. That's perfect technique there. This is great technique here by Cody. See how square he is to Reader.
Watch the release by Tevin Jenkins as he smacks Bosa. That's like incredible.
And I like the attitude by Sam Mustafa for once. He's actually getting his hat on people and really trying to give it. Again, against the long arm, you see this time Larry's done that hand fighting that I wanted him to do.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets a hand inside. So what does he do? He turns his hand into the lever, the elbow lever. You see, he gets the elbow lever there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now get a hand back inside on the pads.
Watch the smack.
And then Tevin says, "Okay, I see you coming inside, fella. Oh dear, sit down, sit down. Oh, that's gonna hurt. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
you,
That didn't feel too good.
You take an inside move on that, and you just got to be expecting a guard. And if you're not, but again, because this guy sold upfield and Mooney did such a good job stoning him, there's no sense in booting outside. So Justin does the right thing again, makes the right decision, cuts back, tries to press towards here, but we've got man free. Okay, so I need to get back out this way. Okay, well that looks pretty good over there. I think I'll go over there.
Now let's kind of sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, go
I was just gonna say let's try to kind of project this play a few weeks down the road. What you'd like to see out of Fields on this is exactly what George pointed out. Saw the head up safety, off the ball. You have the inside slide inside technique by the DB. You'd like to be able to identify that literally pre-snap and kind of think, okay, this looks like zero. And get on the same page with Mooney, because if we actually take a look at the other angle with this, Mooney was available right away. Mooney knew what was going on. You see, I think even points. I think you could even see him point on this play. He just inside, bang, hit that quick. I mean, everything was handled well up front here, but we just got to clean it up a little bit with the pre-snap. I mean, Mooney saw this. He knew what it was. He's going to inside. He's available right off the snap. Get the ball to him.
I can't.
Yeah, kind of a little hand gesture. I don't know what he's doing there, but
he's saying he's shifted inside. The clues are all here if you just put them together. And I sound like I'm talking something like Scooby-Doo here, but you see Hufanga, and we don't really get enough pre-snap here, but you see where he takes those 2 steps over the top, and that's as soon as he sees him move, he's saying he's coming.
Get me the football, please.
Yeah, and he even sits and he sees turned his head immediately, but Justin's got this read over here. And to be fair, outside technique, Equinemius St. Brown 1-on-1, because we're now one high safety, you would be looking there, because it's 1-on-1. So, but if he gets this, if he understands this relation and he sees that as a hot read, boom, gone. And again, Equinemius just doesn't get enough. And I don't know if it's because it's so wet now that the acceleration just isn't there.
Yeah.
And I know that we're analyzing the Bears here, but I drool every time I watch Fred Warner play football. He's on Montgomery on this play, and he's able to recognize Montgomery staying in pass protection, and he basically just turns and hauls ass after Mooney on this play. A really, really good rep by. I mean, just there's a lot here to like from actually both teams. The only thing I can really point to is get the ball to Mooney right away if you can diagnose that it is a slot blitz like that.
If you guys want to answer that question based upon what you've seen so far.
Best pass pro lineman. I would have to say, man, I would have to go Larry Borum.
I was gonna give you Whitehair a little bit on that, but yeah, Borum, there's enough to like what you've seen out of him through the limited tape that we've had on him, even going back to last year. I mean, his debut, his first 2 weeks in the NFL were against Nick Bosa and TJ Watt. He allowed 1 sack and 2 total pressures. There's something to work with there. So yeah, I'm down with Borum too.
Absolutely.
I would agree based on what we've seen so far, and I think the best unit side that we've seen so far is Tevin and Larry working next to each other. I think they work really well together, which is why Lucas Patrick at centre cannot happen soon enough. And look at the balls over to the right again. Okay. So again, in terms of routes, we only look like we've got possible chip release from tight end. Obviously, Demo's coming over this side as well. So you would think, maybe something like that. Outside release, inside, and it just looks square up. So what's Justin looking at? Quite clearly identifies one high safety. Now he's looking at where Warner is in relation to Mooney. And then he's saying, this is no, because Warner's getting depth and we've got one high over top. So that's out. This is out. So I've only really got one thing on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, two, which is that's one, that's two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the right ball.
Yeah.
And it's not that far away.
Yeah, it's again conditions. We don't know why that ball was misthrown. I mean, that's the smart call on that.
Look at that win.
Take your 1-on-1.
It was it was really blowing and coming down at that point.
Well, you can see how dark the ball is. It's wet as hell. And it's
There's
trying
definitely
to make
some schematic pluses that we're seeing here. I mean, there's a couple calls. The stick call against cover 3 earlier was a little bit dead from the jump, but this is first game tape. These are things that we're going to get ironed out.
Yeah, so I mean, we're just gonna get. I mean, obviously, there's not that much to be learned by the 49ers, I don't think. So I mean, it's again, rather than going too much in terms of what we got, 4 under. Really, all you got there is again. And Justin's already looking there. It's the right read against one man inside technique. Throw it, and because it's Darnell just doesn't turn this into a go against cover 1. It's cover 1 man. You can't really run the out. You have to run the go. So why he converts to out here, I don't know. Whether it's just he hasn't got a good release. But that's why Justin has to pull down. He's really got nothing on now apart from blazing game. So
you're going to see a lot of teams do this to us. They're going to dare us to throw the ball down the field to athletes, and they're going to congest the middle of the field underneath. So these are just things that we're going to have to get on schedule with this stuff.
I think. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was saying, and like Zan said, basically contest everything underneath and force, guys to go deep. That's where I think Velus Jones comes in and unlocks this offense.
Absolutely.
The fact that he can win early. He can win early within his route and get that separation that's needed, whether it be short yardage situations and whatnot. I think that he helps Justin like a tight end would, and within the first 5 to 10 yards, where he wins his route early. It becomes a safety blanket.
If I'm having Velus Jones on the field, I want him to be the same side as Darnell Mooney as often as possible, because you got the speed to absolutely blitz by people, but you've got also the speed by Mooney. But as I said to you, Nez, pre-broadcast, Darnell Mooney is rare in his ability to stop and go. His speed of stopping at the stem and his speed to go again, coupled with his long speed, really is rare. Decent pass pro up front here, I think we can say, And again, Griffin is read number 1, but Warner does a good job. The other linebacker comes, so Justin says, okay, well, and watch the adjustment here. He's got no time to reset his feet, and if he wanted to reset his feet,
getting stepped on again.
Yet again, we've got Braxton standing on his feet again. So he can't. People want to talk about mechanics. Okay, mechanic this. Mechanic.
He's on his ankle.
Mechanic 320 pounds on the top of your foot.
Oh.
With the heel. And I mean, it does. To be fair, Braxton feels it and he gets his foot off. So he loses position at the end, but he has to, because otherwise he's going to snap Justin's foot. Justin does a fantastic job just to get the ball out there. And he puts it right on Mooney, and Mooney just, will take 3 yards. It's motion. Uh-oh. Is he going to become
Saw this earlier.
High? Yeah, is he going to become the one high? No. Hufanga. You see him communicate.
Interchangeable safety play here.
Yeah. That's kind of where I'm looking.
Mm-hmm.
If it's skinny. But I think it's where he likes that he's got man, because it is man. He's got man on equanimity sent round against Deshaun Gibson. And again, Larry's facing a ball rush here. Cole Kmet's doing a good job with Ryan Griffin over here. This is nicely tied up. So protection-wise, we're looking okay at the moment. Let's see what Larry does. Throws his man to ground. I mean, you want to talk about pass wins?
Mm-hmm.
That's a pass win. And then if I remember, he surfs on top of him. Yeah, this is where he surfs on top of him. So he does a bit of a headstand on top. And again, decision-wise, because when he's throwing the ball, Okay, let's see when the ball's actually coming out of his hand. He's in his break. Okay, so he's throwing it what now? The ball's out now.
Where was this out of Gibson with us?
God knows, because if it was Gibson with us, he'd be over here somewhere. It'd be 40 yards deep.
Wow.
And the ball's
that's a good rep.
The ball's inside again. The ball needs to be to the outside, but again, why is it to the inside? Well, look how wet the ground is. You see the splashes coming up off the feet now. Look how dark that ball is. And again, you see he's trying to steer it. Look, you see him trying to steer it with his hand. He's not. He doesn't have confidence to really rip it, and he's trying to push the ball there. And this is why this is such an ugly ball, because it just literally falls. He just completely loses grip. He's wearing gloves. Does he normally wear gloves?
No.
Do we know? No. And he wore them in this game. And to me, when it gets super wet, you kind of almost don't want the glove on. So if you guys need to go at any point, just tell me, because
no, you're good.
It's getting a bit longer. So again, we're end of the half, I think, here. So
Yeah, right here. I mean, we're seeing a lot of delay checkdowns in the flat, being here against this cover 3 style defense they've been running.
This is this play, isn't it? Yeah,
this is the one.
Yeah, this is here. And again, you talk about Justin manipulating with his ability to move. I think this is it. Yeah. So we get beaten on the outside with a speed rush by Braxton. It just makes them look both stupid. Presses the line of scrimmage, and again, you see what it does to teams. As soon as he crosses these hash marks, look where everyone is. Mm-hmm. This is going to be on. This is going to be this sort of thing. If you're running off, just you know what I mean. Have everyone go over that way in terms of routes on that backside boot, and then just have one sit. You could literally put this in the playbook, and in terms of just make it catchable. Okay, caught it. Yeah, great. Off we go. And again, economy of St. Brown. Great blocking downfield. Yeah, heavy as an anvil and slick as a bar of prison soap.
Yeah, that's just number one making a play right there.
Yeah, and having the awareness to sort of look back. And again, I think he's counting numbers as to what he's seeing on the other side of the field. So it looks like, again, cover 6. Okay, so cover 6, we've got, I mean, that's kind of, right now I'm thinking that or this. And it is, it's Pringle. And it's the right read. It's the right read. In terms of ball. Why Pringle runs out of bounds here, I do not know. Thoughts?
Yeah, I'm seeing it here better. This was off the play action. Yeah, well, we got a cover 2 look here. Looks like both outside corners bid up on this play. Good design there by Getsy. Great beater into that sideline window.
So I'm saying this is 6 with the 4 half this side and 2 half this side. And with that being a 6, we've got short, flat, and deep. So this is the window.
Okay, yeah, I'm seeing this now. Okay.
Yeah. So this is the window, and it's exactly the right read, especially off this inside-outside release.
Yeah, and then I was looking at the top, definitely cover 2 at the top, which is obviously 4 and 2, 6. But yeah, I would say basically the same thing. The flat support defender on both sides bid on the play action, opened up the throw.
Crazy thing about it is, I think if it's dry out there, that's a house call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of like let's just get the ball into a high margin of error area here.
This is last man, because that's the other helmet. I don't know if you can see right at the bottom of the screen there. That's the only other defender, and that's Darnell Mooney that's on him as well. So
giving Pringle speed, Pringle speed and whatnot, that would have been a house call. If in better conditions, that's a house call.
So he's already running.
He's a madman.
Blazing Game does really good here, but on the backside, I mean, what have we seen again on this naked boot again? And I think it's where Equanimous is just too wide on this. where Griffin goes outside, he's got to take the inside man. He's got a defensive end at the end of the day. And Justin does exactly the right thing because he's going upfield to stop the boot. Look at Justin, stop his feet, and then say, right, I'm just going straight upfield.
Cut inside.
Honestly, and people are slating this kid. And I look at this, and then he's got the wherewithal to say, okay, well, I'm still going to try and hit something. And, you know, people are slating him. Why is he holding the ball? Well, he could have run with it, but he's trying to lay it out there for Griffin, and it's only, you know, again, in the wet. I applaud him for straightening up, because where he gets this, you see him go upfield rather than come down. And it's really good awareness by him, actually, to stay disciplined going upfield, because he knows it's going to be the back, you know, the boot. And where it does become the boot, watch Justin just stop dead. Okay, I can't boot anymore. Stops dead, pushes upfield, goes to the side, tries to get Griffin open. Griffin is actually, again, still not getting enough depth on it, but. And we'll just skip through. So it looks like cover 6 again, but rolling into a 1 high now. So again, they're baiting something. That's holding.
Yes.
Yeah.
They didn't call that.
No, we don't get those calls. Again, protection, I think he's called the wrong side here because of the A-gap bluff. And you get a nickel. So you get a blitz here as well. So that, again, it's a rob for a slant. This is baiting the slant with the pressure. Baiting the slant with Warner dropping into the slant. Watch what Justin does. Watch where Justin's eyes are. He knows he can't throw it.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong on this. Trying to have kind of a flashback. Bengals game last year, we threw a pick to Logan Wilson on a very similar blitz scheme.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And if you want to talk about everyone wants to talk about he's not learning, he's regressing. Well, right, he would have thrown a pick if that was week 3 last year. I'll tell you that much. Because he did. He threw it in the fourth quarter when we couldn't afford to. Same exact type of blitz scheme there.
Raging, I'm only going to say this once because people who know, and I said it on Twitter, did I not, Nez? Because I know that you and the Three Kings liked it. People who know real. People who don't know, and they're going to. Yeah. People who don't know where to go are going to go to the wrong places. They're going to see it. It's going to sound right. It's going to look right. They're going to look at a picture and look, he's wide open. It really and if you're here at the end of the day, so thank you. I applaud you. Thanks very much for being here. It's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to, and I'm able to talk with guys who are very, very smart today. So, I mean, maybe the level that I've been talking at is surprising some people, but, where you see things like that alignment of the safety over the top of the defender in press, the blitz is coming. This is all information that Justin is picking up. Like Zan just said with the last play, that was the Logan Wilson pick last year.
Mm-hmm.
And Fred Warner they deliberately bait him. The first one to Hufanga, they baited exactly the same throw with that, again, trying to get him to throw to the hole under the one high.
He didn't fall for it.
The second time he didn't fall for it. He's seen it. No, I'm not buying that. 3 tight ends this time. Okay, what have we got? Okay, everyone up. I'm kind of thinking, Darnell Mooney. Stutter go, and again, you talk about right decisions. I mean, people are questioning his decision making. Jesus Christ, what are you watching? I mean, look how quick he gets on it, and he's at the moment. All of this is just literally to hold in the middle of the field. He knows he's throwing that. He knows he's throwing Mooney right now. And there you go. And this is in the rain. This is in an absolute monsoon.
Yeah.
So the ball ain't coming out right, but is it the right decision? Yes, it is.
And the personnel grouping was deliberately chosen for us to try to take that one-on-one shot. It's just that the conditions were not conducive to success on that play. There's not a lot you can do in that spot. I mean, you took a shot to your number one. I mean, we hadn't really gotten him involved, so you bring in the 3 tight ends and try to take your one-on-one. It just wasn't there, and you threw it in a spot where it wouldn't be picked.
So again, in terms because we only get that sort of last bit of the motion, and again, I'm looking at the relationship here. Head up, wide, kind of walking down. You see it? And again, now we're going outside. The relationship's changed. So now we're cover 6. We were 2. Now we're 6. Play action again, like almost like an RPO read to this, but not. And it's just basically, I think this is just bubble. And I think it's bubble because they're off.
Mm-hmm.
And Darnell presses towards. That's a solid 8 yards on second down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not worried about it.
Throwing a wet football without laces, likely too.
Yeah, and the thing is that question there with Mooney too wide on the fade on that go route against the man, one high man. He needs to press back inside before going back outside. But I think at the end of the day, I think it's just you're talking about conditions, and this is the touchdown.
This is masterful by Getsy here, man.
This is actually a beautiful combination. This I want to see more of because we've got an east-west levels at the same time. Check release. Bait in terms of running them on a pass play, it really is beautifully executed as well. And Griffin runs at the right depth this time.
And nobody talks about this. Getsy schemed 2 touchdowns on this play. The damn check down to the far left is a touchdown.
Yes. There's that Pringle.
Yeah. And Hufanga really is in a no win.
He's done.
Yeah, he's no win.
Either way, it was going to be a touchdown.
And that's a great throw. So, people have talked about this game. They've talked about Justin Fields in this game, and other people have broken it down. There's plenty of people breaking down tape. Go and have a look at them and ask yourself, are you getting what you're seeing here? That's the end of the now the other one's a lot shorter, the Packers, because there's only 11 attempts at the end of the day. Right. And then we've got the Texans. So again, I'm going to run through these and we'll let you guys talk. But the one thing I'm going to ask people to look at is count numbers in here. Count numbers between the start and count numbers between when they started to get on top. And again, in terms of thinking about things like alignment, what are you seeing by the alignment here? What are you seeing by the alignment here? That's tight end. Look at that, and then look at the numbers up front and what happens in terms of blocking. So it's almost like a RPO type action, but we're blocking on the backside of it. So we're not selling it that well, but we do get a bite. I love Darnell here. He just should have thrown it there for me.
Mm-hmm.
Safety on that
because of where 26. Yeah, I think it's actually the depth here, which is, and again, he's looking right. He doesn't stay right long enough, and I think the reason why he doesn't stay right long enough because he wants to do this. He wants to get him turned this way, which he does, but turn him that way and then throw it, here.
Yeah. I mean, bottom of the screen, you got 2 options to throw to. The one in the seam is definitely the one that's preferable. I mean, he delivered I believe this was a completion, right?
It is to EQ, and it's like 30 plus. It's a great settle actually. Nez, I don't know if you can talk about his stem here. You can just see it at the top here if you watch his feet. But this is a 6'5" guy, and the thing is, again, Zan, you see a defender looking that way. Where are you going to throw it? Back shoulder.
Oh, yeah. Get it up, back shoulder.
Where does the ball go? Back shoulder. And then
the run after the catch.
And EQ gets some yak. So again, right decision. Not the best, but not the worst either. We actually had a snap on target there, Zan. So that's the pitch back. And again, Cole Kmet getting all kinds of beat. That's why I think this is why he goes so early on it, if I'm being honest. He's looking there. He tries to manipulate 26 there. And by the time he's trying to manipulate 26, he doesn't have time to turn back to the throw to Mooney. That's why he's not gone to Mooney. That's the reason why. Because at the end of the day, he's got to look for the pitch back here. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's a pitch back. He's caught it. He's looking at Mooney. As he turns to try and look off the safety, which works, he turns his hips. Okay, well, shit. commits beat, and I've got to just throw it. I've got to throw what I can see, which he does, and that's a quick release. He does well to get the ball out there for me.
Yeah,
so again,
I definitely see it.
Again, in terms of alignment, relationship of the defense, where the heads are pointing. Again, we've got play action, so Justin's having to turn away from it. You see, rolling up and rolling off. Goes Demo. So again, choice. Quite clearly, he's looking at. That's where I'm throwing it. Nice, easy completion. Tries to throw it, but look what happens. So why didn't he throw to David Montgomery, etc., etc., etc.? Well, watch what happens. Larry's getting pushed back into his lap first of all. He steps up. As he steps up, look what's happened to Cody Whitehair. So then he has to press wide. Doesn't see the guy coming off Braxton Jones because he's in the background.
In that play, I would rather him just eat it and take off.
Yeah, just go. Once you make the decision, step up, just tuck it.
Yeah, that was the play that I was a little upset he didn't make, because right here at the step up, that lane right there, once he steps up, you got to take that. You absolutely have to take that.
Are we on the second drive here? I'm trying to remember. I believe this is, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Second quarter.
Notice Green Bay went from 4 to 5 across the front on the second drive.
Bingo. And this is why we have pressure issues, because you got Kenny Clark at nose.
After that first drive, the Bears ran it down their throat.
So you're getting 5-on-5 in the backfield. And again, and this was adjusted too late for me. So this is what you call an orbit motion.
Mm-hmm.
You know that, don't you, Nez? The old orbit.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Oh, Coley.
Yeah.
Look how dead his feet are. I see dead people. Well, no, I see dead feet. I can almost hear the sound in the distance, somewhere in Utah. Someone saying "Timber" as he goes down. Someone in Oregon, maybe. There's the orbit motion. Okay, well, no one's moving. We know it's zone, so just count the numbers. Okay, throw it. A little bit short.
You watch, though. Bad rep right there, but in a few weeks, that's going to open up a deviation off of that where we're going to pop somebody down the seam and get some safeties playing downhill on that orbit. You watch. It'll happen.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you want to try to be doing is no trees in Utah. Yeah, I mean, Oregon. We'll go Oregon. There's plenty of trees in Oregon. So we're looking like what we've gone back to nickel, but again, I think we're late in the half because look how far back everyone is.
Yeah.
So I think we're in check down country, and I think this is just a quick screen to Demo. Yeah, it is. Mm-hmm. So it's a nothing play really. Again, Demo, I just want to see you hesitate a little bit more. Let your lineman get in front of you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just hesitate a little bit more. Let your lineman get out in front of you. But that's the only thing that went wrong there, really. Just went too early.
I'll say this much. Some of these screens aren't panning out. We're missing a key block here or there. But in terms of the sell job, night and day better than the Nagy era. Night and day better.
Everything execution-wise is night and day better than Nagy. Mm-hmm. Again, there's no point.
Low bar, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, almost subterranean. The thing is, coming back. Wide receiver, yeah. I mean, Valus Jones, and let's not forget N'Keal Harry, because you want a big body that bullies. You want a big body that bullies people. Well, there you go.
Oh, you think this wide receiving core right now shows effort in the run blocking game? Wait till you see N'Keal Harry. I don't care if he catches a pass. Just watch him as a run blocker. That dude headhunts people. Seriously, the run game will be even better with him on the field.
Absolutely.
This is the point where I want to see Justin pull up and just lob it there. Because the The reason why is because Adrian Amos presses up really early, and where he presses up really early, we go to what is basically one high. That's the one high. Because he's pressed up early, we have a void here, and that's it's difficult because he's under pressure and he's running at the end of the day. But once you see that and you see the linebackers here, you know this is open. But again, I'm literally, and he does throw it, but it's just a little bit late.
It's just too high.
I was gonna say, is that the illegal?
Yeah, it's too high, and he's about 3 yards beyond the line of scrimmage.
But again, it's the right decision. It's just a tick late, but you can understand because he's under pressure. Okay, so we look like we're pretty well blocked to start off with. That's again why Patrick comes off here. I don't know, because once he sees the guy stay there on the inside, really I want to see Whitehair loop around the back of this. He's the left guard at the end of the day. Once that nose departs, yeah. So there, once he departs, I want to peel, but we don't. And Patrick's late, and Kenny Clark comes free, and then Patrick gets a tiny little bit on him. Justin has to go. We're still bolt upright again here. Has to clear his feet again. See, Justin's learning. Look, he's getting stepped on that many times. Look, watch what he does with his left foot. Pulls his left foot out of the way. Wisely, Justin, get your foot out of the way being stamped on. And again, he's pressing up towards the line of scrimmage. He's just trying to make a play to a guy that's open. Yeah, should he have seen him earlier? Yeah, I think he probably should. But at the end of the day, it's a good completion, just thrown too late. And again, in terms of what you're seeing up front, you got this 3 heavy set down linemen. That's Preston. So we're actually in the 5 front. Yeah, we're still in that 5 front. Oh, look now. Oh, look now. Oh, look now. So as we're seeing this, look where Justin's eyes are. This is a guy that people are claiming doesn't read the field. This is a guy that people are claiming doesn't read the field. That subtle movement, this subtle movement, that subtle movement. Where's he looking? Keep telling me that he's not looking at the right things. Keep telling me he's not looking at the right things because he is. But it's the roots against the coverage. No. What's he left with?
Your check down on the right's a no too. I mean, it's
all of it is a no. At that point, it's just like, man.
It's a dicey throw to Cole Kmet. That's what you got. Dicey throw to Cole Kmet, or maybe again and again we're saying maybe Mooney. Mooney's not even looking at this point. Justin can't throw to him. It's obviously a right half field. It's a right half read, and you can see it straight away because he only ever looks right. So, and I think it's like a levels, if you get me here.
Mm-hmm.
And it puts the ball on Cole, and Cole drops the ball. And that the other QB breakdown was talking about, put it on his body, put it on his body. This is what happens when you put it on his body. It bounces off. What are the guys not doing against the bull rush? Basically resetting their feet and chopping their hands down. That's what you got to do against the bull rush. You got to jump, cut back, and slap the hands down and reset. Get your ass down. You can't win with your ass up in the air. Again, decision making. Look at the relationships. And again, this looks like a mirror route to me. Is it mirrors? Yeah, kind of under over on these slots.
Mm-hmm.
But we got 2 basically that.
So are we running dagger on both sides? Or no, we're not. Because what are the inside options doing? This looks like we got everybody congested in the middle to me.
I think it's like almost like a choice there with. So I think what the read is basically is what this does off the slant. So off this, if he trails, comes inside, and you throw in this. If he stays wide, then you throw in this. Do you know what I mean? It's like that kind of read.
Yeah.
But the linebacker sits right in the middle. Does he put it to the right person? Yeah, he does. Equinemy St. Brown actually catches the ball. He gets snotted, but does he throw it to the right person? Yeah, he does. Well, you can't throw Cole there. And you talk about ball. That is a rope.
Right on him.
Yeah, right in his hands. Again, taking completions. Is he doing the right thing? Yeah, he is. That's very kind of you to say. I really appreciate it. But you get tired of this BS. Is that what I'm saying, or is it what you're seeing in the narrative that you're hearing, Nomad? I think it's probably the latter, but if you could just let me know, that'd be awesome. I know you've said it above. You know what people are saying, Justin Fields can't read defenses. Yeah, because he's black.
Exactly.
Let's call it what it is. Again, relationships corner. We got 4 this time, so it's nickel. And again, you're looking at nickel, but you're looking at this half of the field. That to me sort of says we're off, man, 1 high, with whatever comes to this left. If it's outside, it's me. If it's inside, it's you. That's what it looks like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's the hook, and then
Yep.
And you see the safety driving down. It's exactly what we said it was, and it might be a disguise too. Actually, thinking about it, looking at it, yeah, 29 and 31 are the 2. So it actually rolls to 2 high, almost like a Tampa 2, because that would be the linebacker in a Tampa 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So it is disguised Tampa 2, isn't it? There, right there. So they're baiting this throw to Mooney. Can't throw it. So what can you throw? Well, it looks like possibly screen. There's a check down, which it is.
I'd like to see, well, I know that they're using the back obviously for a screen on this. When you're going to go 4 strong, or you're creating four receiving options one side of the quarterback, it's very, very difficult to navigate through that in man-to-man. So you can kind of dictate zone, which is what Green Bay gives us here. Yeah, just unfortunately when the back doesn't, he's not running a primary route. It's more of a delayed, dump off in this situation. I understand running a screen against zone too, because you're going to try to, get multiple linemen on 1 guy or 2 guys in space. But man, I would like to see them, the couple reps that we've seen so far with 4 to 1 side, it's not been the best route relationship. This one being a screen call, obviously.
What do you say to that comment? Should we trust Colin Coward with what he's saying?
Because he said the same thing. Colin Coward said the same thing about Lamar Jackson when he first came into the NFL, and now look what he's doing.
The guys are talking. He's a wrestling heel. Is what
cow
he is. That's what, yeah, cow turd is a wrestling heel. He just says shit to bait people. That's all he's doing.
It.
He doesn't know football. He's just. I'm no expert on the rules, Zan and Nez, but are you allowed to put your hand right in someone's face mask, like both of these defensive linemen are?
Legal hands to the face, which it never gets called against Green Bay. I don't know why.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why, but I mean, yeah, sticking your hand literally right on a face cage doesn't appear to be, and holding onto it in this case. And still holding on to it here, but it doesn't get called. Again, you talk about Justin's adjusting. I'm going to coin that one. You see him change the slot of his arm just to get this ball out around Kenny Clark.
Look at that. You see the raw tools the kid has when it comes time to not think, just do. That's my biggest thing with him is like, oh man, it's like, once he has to stop thinking so damn much, once he really settles into this offense, I think we're going to be right. This narrative is, I strongly don't believe that this narrative will still exist in week 14, week 15. It's just not going to be there.
No, it's going to evolve massively off the back of this. We're setting up stuff for later. That's what it is. I'm going to ask a question, and I'm going to ask it of the audience as well that are watching. 38 strong on YouTube, so thank you, every single one of you. I want to ask everyone a question, and I want then Nez and Zan to answer it. We've seen 1 interception from Justin. We've seen a couple of potentially interceptable balls. Have you seen 1 bad decision yet from him?
No, I haven't.
No, bad decision, no. He's been pretty risk averse so far.
Yeah, and I think he's been putting the ball in the right kind of positions, except for when it was a monsoon, San Francisco, there were some bad throws. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I mean, throwing a wet ass ball in a monsoon is going to probably, and again in terms of routes on this, staggering and again delayed release behind, and it's the right kind of, it's a nice play call. And again, he's just looking at the right side of the field. Well, yeah, because this is a stack. It might not be a stack in terms of the way they are off the line of scrimmage, but it's a stack in terms of the way they release. And what you're reading is the out there to Cole Kmet, and it's perfect. But Mooney's quite clearly coming. I think this is actually a whip.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is. It's a whip.
Is it? Yeah, definitely.
And then the reason why Justin can't throw it is because all kind of shit breaks down in front of him. And so what front are we in again? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What protection are we in? 5.
Yeah, I mean, it's man on man.
And Cole, if Cole just gets a chip on that, just even a shoulder on Rashawn Gary.
Yeah.
And this is the problem: is look at how far people are saying, why is Larry Warren getting bull rushed here?
Look at all that momentum he's coming with.
Look at the fucking lead up he's got there. Jesus Christ!
Yeah. Right now, yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of this for the third time now. Well, second time on all 22. If Cole Kmet's going to be a delayed release, he better damn well get his pads on somebody before he gets out of that pattern. He's not doing any help to his offense right here, other than running the route more slowly than he could if he wasn't trying to block anybody to begin with.
Can we get an hallelujah in chat, please? Because I think that absolutely nailed it there. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to put a pad on, if you're going to chip, you kind of need to chip. You actually need to hit something or someone, or but at the end of the day, we start off okay, but then we've got an L-shape Sam Mustafa in the middle of the field here. That doesn't look very good to me. Again, so and people are saying, "Oh, Larry Borum, shit, he got pushed back into Justin Fields." Fucking hell, you're going against Rashawn Gary. He's got like a 6 meter run into you.
Cole Kmet just gives him a little shoulder shimmy, even it just wobbles him a little bit, and then all of a sudden Larry wins the rep.
Look at the body position he's in. He's in a brilliant body position, and people are saying Larry Borum got pushed back into just. Well, dude, I defy anybody to stop him dead unless you're made out of stone.
Exactly.
I don't know how you stop him dead there.
What do you do? And
that's the reason why he gives up a sack. PFF, Larry Borum gave up a sack. Yeah, 5-man protection against 5-man rush with a 6 meter head start. Thank you, Sam. For we got an amen and an hallelujah. So we'll take that. Again, what are we seeing? I'm kind of seeing. If I was a betting man, 6. As in this half is the 4. That's the 2-man.
Yep.
And again, the reason why it's 2-man is because he's up, he's looking inside. So that's the read. He's just in looking the right way. Yeah, he is. Okay, Darnell's doing a check release. Cole's a delayed release.
Much better rep by Cole there, giving his right tackle help.
And really, Justin should be going to Cole here, but again, it's just a little bit late. And you see him now; he's getting onto it.
Yeah.
Look at the safety over top.
Yeah, he's already going.
That's where I told everybody. They're like, "Yeah, it looks like he's open. He's not open.
He's facing there all the way.
Yeah, it looks like he's open. The only way that ball gets completed, he's gonna have to hit that tight to the sideline.
Is Justin trying to get him to change his hips? So
absolutely, that's what I was just about to say. He's not looking down. He's trying to set 26 up. 26 ain't falling for it.
The thing is, the amount of people have said he completely missed Economia St. Brown.
I was guilty on television.
Bullshit.
I seeing it back now. I was wrong on that.
Well, I think we need to clip this part of the show. So if someone wants to 2 hours, 3 minutes in. So the reason why I say that is because people are saying that Justin Fields missed Economia St. Brown. No, he didn't. He's trying to get him to turn his hips. That's what he's doing. And that's why it's so much, And at the end of the day, he's still trying to get him to change his hips. He knows this is coming open. All he's going to be left with is that check down off this. So he wants to throw it now, but again, you throw this ball,
It's getting picked off.
Well, let's just see. Right, so we're at 10 here,
It's
20,
tight.
20 here, 30 here. We're gonna have to be throwing it down here somewhere. That's 40 plus. What are we from here? Another 12 and a half. That's a 55, 60-yard pass.
Yeah,
You think
It's a long throw.
You think this guy in 60-yard pass isn't going to make up 22?
Yeah. Back shoulder to the sideline. That's
he's
the only way.
His discipline is great because he stays on the line waiting for the throw. Now the only thing is that now that's coming open, but again, Justin's got to throw something, and that's really kind of all it's on now, because that's off. That's off. Yeah, if he waited half a tick longer, but this is now. That's not a route. That's Pettis saying, okay, my route is finished. Now I'm basically in QB scramble drill, so I just need to get open, and that's what he tries to do. But again, it's still tight. Throw it to Demo, because Demo's, I don't know, he's pretty good running after making people miss. But again, people talked about this throw saying he missed Equinemius St. Brown. That to me shows your lack of understanding of what he's actually trying to do.
I think the only counter argument I have, I think, on this was I do believe this was 3rd and 10, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think a lot of people took pause with the fact that we threw the ball short of the sticks, a little PTSD from previous regime, maybe. Would I have been pissed off with a potential arm punt in that spot? Probably not. If it were intercepted. But I mean, you watch Montgomery, especially in the game the previous week, on a check down, make a couple guys miss and turn 6 into 13. So why not trust 32 again here?
So my only criticism, and it is literally my only criticism here, is that because the linebacker is here and there's nothing over here, he throws it directly to David to make it an easy catch. I'm just literally going to lollipop it over here and say, David, run onto it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only thing I'm going to do different. And this is hindsight. I mean, this protection's actually really, really good. Let's just talk about that. But he puts the ball straight on David, and if he just lollipops it over here to get him running this way, then that's literally the only criticism I got, because by the time he catches it and turns, linebacker's on him.
Hit. Yeah,
I mean that's the only thing. And again, we're sort of late on now, so quick go, try and catch him. Darnell Mooney hasn't even got his gum shield in. There we go. So Darnell hasn't even got his gum shield in. We've got trips tight to the right, and we've got 2 to the left, 1 high. So again, 1 high. We know we've got 1 corner out here, just easy looking the right way. Yeah, he is. Okay. In terms of where's the ball going, is this the right route here? Is that what you throw? Or here?
I'm taking the deep out to the left.
I'm taking the deep out.
Well, that's what I would like him to go to. I think he goes to Griffin, but he completes it, and it's past the sticks. So puts it on Griffin. Griffin catches it.
You notice how he knew on that rep.
Oh,
he
he's
knew
bracing.
that they had 12 on the field, but he didn't chuck it deep because he got burned for doing the same thing last year. So he took something that was a little bit more available to him.
Yeah. So again, we're looking at what were you thinking 6 here? Again, this is the 4 side. That's the 2. That's what I'm looking at. Shell. Okay, we're crossing center now. It's that sort of backside motion. Blazingame's is he gonna chip, or is he gonna chip release? Gonna cut. And again, this guy really messes this up for this play, because he's getting depth. So this is what screws this. It's actually a really good play by number 26. 26 Savage. So all he's got really is Demo, Darnell.
Yeah.
Darnell, or you could say that, but I mean, he just throws it up at the end of the day. This is really late on, isn't it? And we're down.
And
so
run that back. Let me break this down, because he pissed me off on this route.
Yeah, he's got to keep him outside.
You have to stay outside. You stack him. If you stay outside and stack him, that's 6. Why are you going inside?
As you get him to turn to the outside here, you need to then get inside, but press him to keep him outside so you can bend it inside. So you bang on, Nez. I mean, he does really well up until right now he does really well. As he's got him to flip, now
As
you
he
need
got
to
him to
press,
turn.
now you need to flip it to go
Yes.
dead straight down the field.
Stack. Get right on top of him.
And if anything, as he goes outside you, you almost kind of want to drift this way.
Mm-hmm.
What's the scoreboard at this point? We down 14?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think in a one-score ball game, we probably see Fields likely just continue to put Savage in conflict and maybe look to make it him and Griffin. But being down 2 scores, him pressing a little bit,
Yeah, press
probably
the line
dictated that throw.
Yeah. He'd probably press the line of scrimmage, wouldn't it? Are the wide receivers schemed to sit next to defenders or choosing not to make more space on short and sit routes? It really depends upon the concept versus the coverage. There's not a single answer on that.
Sometimes you have to understand your role in a route combo is to hold a defender, not necessarily to be the guy getting the football, because that's going to open up a teammate. Yeah, it just depends.
I think you find it's compulsory to have a mouth guard in. So I'd be amazed if it. So he might have one hanging from his visor, but he's probably got one in his mouth.
Yeah, see, I really think that he continues booting in a regular game, one-score game, and puts 26. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if Darnell's running straight, then he has the option to bend inside like that.
Yes.
But now he's on his hip. He's actually mugging his back pocket there. So he's actually in a decent position in the corner. I think that's a throwaway, to be honest. So again, what are we getting? Safety rolling up, motion goes across. What does that tell us? Nothing much. It's just like a play action. A nice play fake there, I think. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was good up until yeah. I mean, he sold it well, hit the ball well, and then it kind of fell apart after this.
Yeah,
booting into a guy. It's hard to make this guy miss off of this move here. You know,
I don't know why. To be honest, with that play fake, he could almost even pivot with his left foot backwards.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have to turn his back there because he's got so much depth, and that's what Rodgers does. I don't think Rodgers turns his back. Justin does, but again, the ability to stop and then turn away from him, and he almost gets away, but he slips there. Mm-hmm. So we take a sack, but again, what front are they in? Again,
yep, it's a 5-2
with a safety up, uncounted man. So it's actually 8 man in the box. Darnell is, but I mean, again, he's got no chance because Preston Smith's coming unchecked. And again, they're not what you would on a real play boot. You'd expect this to squeeze, wouldn't you? You'd expect the end to squeeze and follow down the line of scrimmage for a cutback. But because we're running this concept, the naked boot so much, everyone's just doing this now, going upfield on the backside.
And you know, you're also going to
they're rolling up a safety. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, on this guy on the line of scrimmage, they're going upfield because then they're just rolling the safety down on this boot action.
Yeah. Oh,
that's,
yeah.
That's the adjustment that teams have made. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, is that I'm not trying to tell anybody what to think here. I'm just trying to give you the context of what we're actually seeing. People are talking, saying like, yeah, that Equanimous one, he didn't see him. He knew he was there. He's trying to get 26 to flip his hips, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
So he holds it as long as possible. All his time to throw is too long. Jesus Christ, the protection was good. He's trying to roll the safety out of the way. You want him to hold the ball in that instance. Okay, he's running out of the pocket, he's pressing the line of scrimmage. Yeah, but then he goes to the sideline. That's the reason why he's holding. People just look at stats and they don't look at context, and that's the problem. Nothing is on here apart from possibly. And again, look at the backside with again, we know we're in nickel this time.
There's been 5 or 6 reps through this review where backside's so open. It's just not where the progression is.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying off the back of that. And again, you know, I'm saying this. I'm not cherry picking. I don't have a script, but where you say off and you see an under, that's this area here is coming clear. So where he's coming under and he's going deep, with him being so far up, if he was up tight, then no. But because he's off and this is under, yeah, That's why you know he's going to come clear, because this guy's off. That's what I'm saying. Pre-snap read, one high safety, he's off. Okay, I know I've got a route here and I've got one there. I kind of want to look here, even though the route says, we're reading this guy and this guy. Even though it says that in the playbook, I'm kind of, and again, just his looking left to start off with. And I think it's Komet, which he's trying to get. It's the same concept both sides. It's actually a mirror, isn't it?
Yep.
Looking at
this
it.
is just a deviation of the old Bill Walsh sprint right option. I mean, you got a front pylon, a back pylon, and a kind of a middle guy. This is a textbook red zone call for every team in the NFL, just done a little bit differently.
I kind of almost want to see these two guys reversed in terms of alignment. So I'm having Cole run this and EQ run this, because Cole is
going to see the guy that's kind of working towards the middle at first to open up the underneath. He usually doubles back to the back pylon if there's grass there. I'm not sure if that's what happens here, but
Justin's reading this coming down here, and he thinks rightly he thinks that Cole Komet should be coming open here, but he's in his back pocket because EQ's they're too divorced from each other. Komet can't get off quick enough, so that's now off. He's now come off that. If you notice, he's actually come off the throw because he sees this. But that's where we should go. Anyhow,
I'm saying either that or Equinemius to the back pylon. He doesn't win there. Yeah, I mean, textbook route combo for the red zone.
So what does Justin do? He says, "I'm just going to run it in myself," and nearly does. Damn close to the pylon.
Knee came down first. He came real close.
Is his knee down? It's down now. That's hella close.
Yeah.
Any part of the ball breaks the front of this plane, it's a TD.
We're not talking about the next play.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about the keeper. We're not talking about that. Again, we're not going to learn much now. They're in prevent, so I kind of, is that the right throw? They're in prevent, and we're running what? Is it all slants? All deep slants? It is, isn't it? Everyone's slanting against soft zone. It's just not a good concept.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to learn anything more from the Packers tapes. Let's get on to Texans, where debatably it was worse.
Yeah. All 11 pass plays.
All 11 pass plays, yeah.
Oh, no.
So, again, we've already talked about looking at your relationships between where you get like one high, and you get 4 under with a safety uncounted into the box because he's the uncounted man. Don't forget it's the 4-3 front. That's the 4-3. There's your Mike. Okay, so tight end's this side, but Mike's here. Right. What's he doing here? Okay. I formation, motion goes cross, man under. We still know it's zone on the outside.
Mm-hmm.
We know it's man under. So now we know that this is going to be in coverage on man on whoever comes this side, because that's going to be match to this side now. That's man. He's got this guy and this guy will be matched probably, because again, zone. They're still outside alignment. Fullback comes out. That's a rub for the fullback. That's what's coming open. Nice cut, I think. It
actually looks like they traveled the nickel and still played zone off of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's what they did. They just reversed it, didn't they? Reversed the field.
Or that might have been a safety, not a nickel. They're in base right here. So yeah, they just traveled the safety with the trader motion and then stayed in zone out of it.
He's actually in man there on the tight end that comes to cut.
Yep.
Wesco. So that's what I'm saying. It's zone under, but match. That's why I said it was match. If you remember, I said it was match. It is match. So sorry, I don't mean to correct you, but that's match. So zone on the outside and match under. with obviously Petrie and Man on the tight end.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the throw. But again, it needs to be now. But the thing is, because Wesco's gone down, Petrie hasn't had to on or anything. So now he's in the gap. Right, frictional HQ. Let me just boot you from the chats. Because you are a bot. Where is frictional? I can't even see him in my chat yet, so let me just refresh that. Sorry, I just need to kick this guy from the chat, and then we'll be off and running, and everything will be tickety boot again. Sorry about this, guys. Pregnant pause is not good for anybody.
You're all good.
It's all good.
Well, that's weird. I can't see him in the live chat. My apologies, everyone. Let's get on with it. I won't put the comment up anyway, but that's kind of and Komet's actually stopped his route completely there.
Yeah.
But that is the throw. He's just in making the right throw.
Yes.
Yep. So again, this is the guy that can't read defenses, apparently. Doesn't know where to go with the ball, apparently. Yeah, there's a lot of people that have got jobs in the media that haven't learned. So you're quite all right there, Nicholas. At least you're in the right place to learn. But there's plenty of people that are talking in the media getting paid very well for it that haven't a clue. But yeah, Pringle, absolutely the right throw. Look at
You're right. This is a very sorry to keep interrupting you.
No, that's fine.
I'm looking at the underneath since you pointed it out. This is a very interesting coverage scheme here. You got basically the outside thirds, a post defender, and then basically you're just playing a few guys underneath and man to man on the backs and the tight end. You should. I mean, you got to win your crossing routes here, and and drive off the outside.
It's three match. I mean, that's what the coverage is. I did kind of call it when the motion, because when the motion, the thing that declares it as match, yeah. And just to give a clue here, is watch the linebackers when the safety crosses. This is the uncounted man in the box. Let's not forget. So you're looking at where the mic is. Look at the change. Now look at him get wider. You see him get wider. There goes the motion. That's where it's match. You see it's match because he's travelled backwards and forwards with him. And he's still over the top. That is the only technical man cover here. These are 3 deep. Yeah. That's the only guy actually in man, which is him. He has whoever comes to this side. So if it's the halfback or fullback, whoever it is, you're in man. Okay.
Yep. Seem to flat.
Yeah, let's get it back to there. Yeah, so basically that's what you're getting. So you're getting match then. So whoever goes to the right is yours. You are the free man. Yeah, so you're the QB spy. Yeah. Quarterback spy. Man with whoever comes this way, whoever comes that way. And if both of them come this way, then you would see probably that as the match and then replace as the spy. So that's the way match works. It's quite a complicated coverage. A lot of people don't get it, and I really think that messes it. I don't know why. Oh, he trips on the back of Justin's foot. Look, Wesco trips on the back of Justin's foot. That's why he goes down, because he's coming still out here, and that clears him low, makes this even easier.
Is that Wesco's first game dressing this past week?
I believe so.
No, he had a couple of snaps in the
Packer game.
Thing.
Okay.
Yeah, he came in late though.
We're really going to like him as a blocker. Let's just not step on our feet.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and he's what you would call like a proper H tight end, isn't he? But again, this is I think this is set up as like a zone beater, but it's not zone, it's man match. But again, it's just the right decision. That's the right decision. You see, he's in zone, so the guy who's supposed to be covering him is here.
Yeah, got a robot it.
And and then there he is. He's just late. He's just late, and he's never going to catch him there. So it's the right throw. So Justin Fields can't read defenses. Apparently, has a slow release. Apparently, Again, I'm not going to talk much now. I'm just going to let you guys get it. So motion out. What's it telling us? Okay. Oh, what's that?
No, sneaky.
Oh, what's that? Again, the clues. I don't like to. I don't want to sound big-headed, but oh man, and it's one high, and we've got basically double bubble, so it's just a choice. It's just a hot route, but I wouldn't throw that way. I'd actually throw this way.
Yes, less bodies.
Yeah, just that's the only difference. But I think this is designed to go left all the way because you see these guys get out. So it's almost like it's a tunnel. So you see centre and guard release, and Patrick. So we get 3 linemen. Patrick's late on it because he gets sort of in a bit of traffic here, but if you can get those 3 out in front, but Justin, I think, just bins this off the back. Now it gets batted down, doesn't it? That's the thing, Braxton. You got to cut his fucking legs, man. If this is a tunnel, you got to cut him, which it is. It's a tunnel screen, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to cut him.
We're gonna sell that play at some point down the road, and then there's gonna be a bang seam for 60 yards for a touchdown. It's gonna be there, even though these are failed reps early. It's gonna set up something down the road.
Freeze and see when he's looking at when it's time to fire. I'm not worried about what he's looking at when it's time to fire. If he's doing West Coast properly, he doesn't necessarily have to be looking at his target to throw it. So I'm not. Would you agree with me on that comment? I don't know. I mean, you feel free to dissent because I don't know everything. But for me, I don't think the QB necessarily in the West Coast needs to be looking at his target when he's throwing it. His feet need to be set towards it, but he doesn't need to be looking at it. Would you agree, guys?
It's reaction offense. So absolutely, you throw it to a spot.
Yeah.
You don't have to look at the receiver. Yeah. You throw it to a spot, which is the hole. You throw it to the hole in the coverage.
So, again, one of the things you can teach people, QBs particularly, is looking at where you are on the line on the field compared to where your alignment is of your safeties high and your DBs in terms of what. Again, this looks like 6 to me. We'll see. No, he's bluffing. It's high rubber. Mm-hmm. See it? And that's what the baiting. Like you see it. Mm-hmm. This is the Pettis. Let's see where it goes.
Oh no.
Well, that's where he should. This is where we should be going. I think he's just a bit late on this, isn't he? He tries to throw to. I don't know why my drawings are not staying on the screen there. Never mind. And then, oh dear. And then Justin gets out of trouble and then back into trouble and then bails himself out. And then, oh, look, nice block. Turns into a blocker. You see how smart he is? Mm-hmm. I friggin' love him. Look at that. That's David Montgomery, people. People don't want to extend David Montgomery. Okay, watch this. Watch David Montgomery. On a route, tight man. He knows he's not going to get it. Okay, well, Justin's in trouble now. Okay, press up. You see him on the linebacker blocking his ass off. So, Justin Fields, is he making the right decisions so far? Anyone?
On that last rep, I would have liked him to hit number 1 on the outside early in the progression. But, I mean,
yeah.
You know, it wasn't what he was looking at. And given what he had, he made something positive out of it. So, I mean, it's hard to, you know, point fingers on a positive play where the result ended up being, you know, good. But, yeah, you'd like to see him rip that throw on the outside a little bit earlier, I think, especially if it was off coverage and man, he was just sitting there underneath.
Right. So again, alignment, bunch, Yeah. So what's the bunch telling us in terms of the alignment of the DBs? We'll look at where the other DBs are in terms of where they are on the field. Looks like one high. Let's see what we get post snap. We got no. We do have a motion. What's motion telling us? Oh, that's interesting. And again, you see it's man.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's man, what do we want to hit? I kind of want that to do that if it's man.
Yeah, the machete in the middle. You want the left to right crossers, at least right there. You're kind of thinking the left to right crosser might be able to get under. Yeah. Oh man, I don't know what happened in the middle of that pattern. It just kind of gave up the separation he had. Or am I tripping?
I think he thinks he has zone because on the outside it's three cover 3 man under. Well, actually no, it's not. Is it? It's one. Really, one man.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Left to right crosser. It slowed down. It looked like. I mean, I don't know how we had that left to right crosser just right there. It's like, damn, he's open, and then all of a sudden it's not.
Why he doesn't continue on this route and he takes a step towards? I don't know. I'm not. I don't know why he's looking at this guy. He should just be jetting.
Oh yeah, I mean, who is that? Is that EQ?
It's EQ, yeah. It's EQ. That's just a safe throw away for me. Is it the right decision? Yeah, I think throwing the ball away is the right decision there because that's it is equanimous. Why he's looking at him there, I don't know. I would love someone to ask that question though, because, and again, why Pettis is not coming? Does that? I don't know. And then EQ starts coming back towards the QB. Justin's absolutely doing the right thing there, throwing it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do we have in chat? What do you guys think of Justin's changes? Yeah, it's just getting him to be open earlier, which is right because he's going to go out of under center and out of gun. So it's, when you got people like Brady and Rodgers doing exactly the same thing, it's just you want him to be able to throw the ball earlier because if he's catching it off gun, he needs to be able to literally turn and rip it. If he's front foot forward, he's got to open up his hips, then turn and rip it. So it's absolutely the right thing to do. Hit Meany on the far left, not a chance on that because it's reverse field and he's having to escape.
Yeah. Going across his body, that's a recipe for a pick.
And it takes a hell of a long time for the ball to get over there. So motion again, just hold the play fake a little bit longer on this criticism. Again, it looks like three under, and they're blitzing as well, aren't they?
I mean, where's this run of the mill Tampa, Lovey?
Wish I knew, but we've seen a lot of this, haven't we? Where it's man and one high.
Yep.
So, what are they going to be the adjustments off the back of? EQ really is the only thing that's on because he's carrying on across this side of the field. Justin's looking. He's trying to get Mooney, isn't he? Is it Mooney? No, is that Pettis? And then pressure closes in on him. This is the one where he kind of very late goes. The only thing is for me there, does he have time? And again, you see Demo makes him trip and stumble there. Yeah. So he hasn't even got his hips clear yet. So can he throw it yet? No, he can't. He's clearly looking at this relationship here with the one high, but that's with it being like a 3 look initially, with this guy where he is, if we know this route's coming across the field, just trust the relationship and just throw it. Now, literally now, right there.
I'll tell you what, I'm watching these routes by Equinamius, and the dude eats up ground on his vertical stem, and then it's like let's get him the football on the break, man. This dude is making DBs. I mean, he has a good 2 steps of separation right there because the guy's sagging off of him. Bang, right there. Get it out to the left hash mark to him.
Yeah, throw it here.
Yeah, or even further, yeah.
And he does kind of get on it, but I think EQ's given up on the play at that point.
Yeah, like 2 reps in a row, kind of. Well, I'm sure they're not back-to-back plays, but kind of like, oh, you have separation, then you don't.
I just wanted to address. I mean, the whole point of this show, this video, and I would like, if you think that you're actually learning something from this, please share it on your social. Please comment on the actual video itself. Please share why you think it's a good video to watch, if you think it is, and if you do think it is, hit like, for Christ's sake. Make sure you subscribe and come back here again. But the point for me is, again. Does that look like cover 2 at the moment? Yeah, it does. Okay, what's happening here? Okay, bailing. What's the motion telling us? Shift across. Yeah. And then it's that orbit boot again we saw earlier, Zan.
Mm-hmm.
Is this the pop off of it? It is. Oh, get it to him.
Yeah, but it turns into the pick because he stops.
I know it.
Yeah. He didn't want that hit over top.
Why he slows down there?
There's 2 routes open on this play.
Yeah, but the thing is, because you see the safety shadow here, and again, there are people. Look, the ball is already out of right now. It's the point. Let's say the point where he's making the decision to throw. Right when that foot lands, that left foot lands, that's the decision to throw. Okay, which is he playing over the top of here? Bear in mind that's his shadow, and that's actually where his body is sort of here.
Mm-hmm.
Which one is he actually over the top of, this guy?
He's over the top
the
of
fade
commit.
wheel, whatever you want to call that, on the top.
Well, it's cover 6, isn't it? So there's the 4. This is the 2 under. So he's actually, Fields is saying, if these are cover 4 here, that's cover 2 here. He's going to be going this way. So I think this is the right decision. And again, it's a little bit of a long stride on the throw, but Komet for me, right, where is it? He slows down right there. That's a deceleration step. If he just carries on running.
Yeah, that was I'm open, get me the ball. And then like he threw it to the spot that if he hadn't slowed up, it would have been caught perfectly in stride.
Again, I think it's the right throw. Because cover 2 safety over the top is going to be going to the outside. Come on, man. Are we really saying this is a bad throw? Look at the angle of attack. Well, look at the angle of attack. Bear in mind the ball's already on its way. Look at the angle of attack of Komet, and then watch what happens. Right.
Yeah.
There.
That's the chemistry thing I talked about early on. Even the carryover players from the previous regime, they've still got to develop chemistry within the routes in the new offense. It seems to me that Cole was like, oh shit, I'm open, put the ball on my numbers, and slowed up, ready to get the ball right away. And Fields was thinking, oh, I'm going to thread this down the seam. Keep running, big guy.
Yeah. Yes. Middle of the field open, which is what it is. I don't know, man. I'm tired. And again, this looks like either that same, where we get the one high bracket with man. That's what it looks like to me pre-snap now. That's what I'm thinking based upon that's man alignment, that's man alignment, that's man alignment, one high. What's this safety doing? He's over commit. Okay, where are my 2 linebackers? Well, my 2 linebackers, bear in mind that we only got a halfback over here. My 2 linebackers are shifted off to the alignment quite far to the right. Again, I don't know if you agree with that, but that's what I'm seeing pre-snap. Let's see what we get post. Okay, rolling the opposite way.
Okay.
And it's a screen, and he gets hit on the screen pass, for Christ's sake. So what happens up front here? Did they whistle this dead? Was this a false start or something? So good. That's a good rep by Ted in there. And again, Braxton Jones. Again, that's not a deep enough kick on a pass step. 6 inches. It's not even a wide step. It's not a back. It's not a back, and it's not a wide. It's kind of between the two, and not really anywhere. And again,
do you think part of that was potentially by design, with this being a screen call, to maybe present him an easy win lane?
Yeah, I think he's trying to sell. He's trying to get him to bite upfield. Yeah, definitely. In terms of, in terms of giving him that route. But then it kind of, again, you see him bend his back there. Just get your ass down. Okay, yeah, I'm being a bit harsh. That's actually not too bad. And then Whitehair gets out in front. Okay. And he cuts. He should just follow that. I mean, Herbert had a good game. Let's not beat about the bush, but that's where he should be going, right here, for me. But he cuts inside towards the cavalry, and the cavalry takes him down. So that's the screen to. That's that one. Yeah, this one I think is because they've been quite. Would you agree they've been quite exotic in what they've shown and what they've actually done in coverage so far?
The way they rolled that cover one was wild. Actually, I was thinking I'd been a while since I've seen anything like that.
And again, they're really selling outside alignment zone, aren't they? Here. It is.
Got to get to the corner here, top of the screen.
That's where it needs to go. But again, in terms of what's happening in front of him, see how everything's getting closer to him, where it's Cody's getting beaten to the outside, and it's an inside move on Braxton. Braxton does well to adjust there, actually. That's a good job. The Borum doing well on his man again. And he just... That's Justin's got to throw it. He's got to trust it and throw it there.
Yeah, I mean, bare minimum right here, you could take a negative play as long as you're stepping into your progression.
Right
going out here to the left isn't doing you anything to work towards.
Yeah, and he's looking towards throwing it to Khalil Herbert, but he's literally the reason why he can't throw it to Khalil is look what's right in front of him. And again, I'm no expert on.
Now the hands to the face.
Yeah, I mean, he's literally got his hand under his face mask.
But, and the back judge is looking right at it.
Oh yeah, he's in a real bad position to see that. I mean, he's literally a yard and a half away. So there we go. Again, in terms of alignment, looks like man at the bottom over the tight end. Motion, what's the motion do? Well, you see him widening. They're kind of thinking screen here already. Is it screen? Yeah, it is. It's telegraph. This is Getsy being scared because of what he's hearing in the press and all the pressure on Justin. This is not calling your game. This is trying to quieten people down who are booing someone who's actually doing a good job so far, I think. Has Justin, like I said, over their first two games, with so little to work with in the Green Bay game, he ain't really put. He hasn't. Yeah, there's been some bad results. There's not really been many bad decisions, and that's just a give up play call for me. I don't know. I tweeted out, and I don't know if anyone saw it, but I tweeted out that was Getsy kind of throwing Justin under the bus a little bit. Boot action. Let's see what they do on boot action. How much people are now keying in on it. There goes the motion. You see the two defensive end swap, but the linebackers don't shift. Okay, what's that telling us? What's the alignment of the corners telling us? What's Petrie telling us? Yeah, cover two. Yeah, no. You see, that's what's coming open. And again, this is very subtle, but if this isn't a boot action, if this isn't a play action, I think he trails here. But because it is a boot action, you see they stay field sensitive to that side, and the linebacker goes, that's what's open right there. But because, again, we're going deeper to try, that's why he's under it. He's got to throw it to Mooney right now. But again, you see it's bracket. They're bracketing. They're looking straight towards it. And then Justin obviously doesn't hear the footsteps behind because, again, Braxton's stuck. You can't be out over your feet like this chasing. Look at the where his body position is compared to his weight. It's difficult because it's boot action to zone to that side, and then asking him to peel back is tough. But he's got to be shouting, Justin, man, 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 man. And Justin clearly doesn't hear it, but then manages to escape and get something out of it. So again, Should he have thrown? What point should he have thrown? Okay, his boot right there. If he snaps his head round right there, he's got to throw it right now. He's got to literally take 2 steps, throw it to Mooney here. But he's looking straight at it. So I can see why he doesn't throw it.
Flat defender had a pretty good key on that. He points off to the safety, hey, take my guy. He saw the intermediate crosser. Yeah, I can't really ding Justin for for decision-making process there.
That's where it needs to be. But look.
Yep.
You see? He's just looking straight at him. If Justin, because where Justin needs to throw this, let's be real. Where Darnell's running, he needs to throw it almost there. Okay, so who's nearer to that? Quite clearly the defender. And that's why he hesitates. That's why he can't throw it. And then he just gets something out of it. You know what I mean? It's just...
Can we roll that from the top on that again? I just want to see.
Yeah, sure. Tell me where you want me to.
My focus on this is we got to get into the top of the screen's got to get it. It's tough. You're getting jammed, right? He really got shoved inside hard right there. You got to keep a little bit more width on this because that's going to help out your crosser. That's tough. You got to get into the vertical. There's just not enough spacing between St. Brown and Mooney right here for this route combo.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of want to be there, really.
Because I mean, if you could be another 3 to 5 yards further downfield, I mean, your spacing is so much better for Mooney.
But I know why they're not running it that deep, because what he's trying to do is create separation under there for this. But that defender wouldn't normally be there.
Yeah.
And he is. I mean, it's quite clear in the adjustment they've done on tape. And it's a very good one. Let's face it, Lovey's a very savvy defensive coordinator. You know,
absolutely.
There's not a lot he hasn't seen in the NFL. So
you learned a lot at Illinois. I'll tell you that much about modern adaptations to what he does well. I mean, he's done a good job disguising things in this game.
There's a lot of Indiana coverages in Lovey's Illinois and Texans. Indiana runs some really nice coverages. Again, this is like cover 2 man, isn't it? Well, match. Again, the only thing is Herbert, isn't it? Herbert or Komet, but Komet, again, Peter's literally right over the top of him. These are the two, aren't they? I think here. But again, what's happened up front.
That's really well designed here at the bottom, though.
Oh, yeah. And it's almost sitting waiting for the attention because, I mean, this is the throw, isn't it? But he can't get to it because he's got to step up and chase towards line of scrimmage. Does he throw it after the line of scrimmage now? No, he doesn't. Tucks his head down, gets first down because that's the marker. So, again, Justin's trying to get a first down, gets a first down. That's pretty good for me. There's just nowhere. It's even like show the shovel passes to keep the linebacker off a half second. I can't. I get what it's like when you're watching the emotions going while you're watching the game, but then to not come back and look and put context on it and listen to people who are helping you put context on it. I don't. Yeah, this Sunday, can we please, against the Giants, can we please not make rash decisions about what we're seeing until we've seen it on the All-22? Yeah, if he looks like something, just give him a bit of time. Again, half back at the boundary, you've got a cornerback over the top of him. No one's exchanged. He's giving us information all the time. Linebacker's running Tampa 2, isn't it? Tampa 2. Herbert's the dude. Or Komet again. So that's a choice here, isn't it? So you got choice, but that's in man trail. Herbert's the dude for me. People are talking, throw this reverse field over the top of that. And again, you got to look where his line is on the.
I really like that design down there at the bottom, though. It's great.
This, yeah. I mean, that's. I mean, look where they come from as well, because you basically got. you got
like a variation of China in a way. I mean, you're not running 2 digs over the middle, but I mean,
I
you
don't
got
know
this
why.
return and
Yeah, my drawings aren't staying on the field, but basically what you're getting is that, and then like a levels, and then an under. So it's like a real zone beater to this side, and it is zone, so it's perfect call. But again, Justin's having to try. At the end of the day, he's conscious that it's third down. He's got to get first down. So I don't know. Good decision, bad decision. Again, Lucas Patrick getting away with a hold there. It was almost a rugby tackle. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna. Right. Looks like cover 2. Motion. Tight end on the outside. So, I mean, tight end was on the outside to start off with. We had corner over him. Again, the information is here pre-snap. Motion goes past the centre. Linebacker hasn't shifted. It's kind of screaming zone, this. But then, look at that. Man under. That's the throw.
that's just some lovey wizardry there. That's going to be tough to process for any QB.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, once you see him turn and go, man,
Yeah,
there's the void. You know what I mean? This is the information, because you got run off. That's again, I've got the benefit of this from up in the booth, looking at the all 22. But as Justin's looking at it and he sees this turn into man with what is quite clearly zone, we know this has been departed now. That should be that's the next level he needs to get to, is to process that information like that.
Yep.
Yeah, I can do it with a tape where I can pause it, but I'm talking about 2-3 seconds, whatever. He ain't got that time. But where he sees that convert to man, this is open, and it's just got it. Again, this is all going to come, and he throws it, for Christ's sake.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a
just about second late.
I kid you not. This is real. Yeah, but what we're talking about is, I mean, again, it's an RPO read, for Christ's sake. So he's got information. I'm being harsh here. That's converted to man, but it's an RPO read. He's got to pull and then boot, then throw, and when does he throw? Right now. Honestly, that's such a high level play. That is such a high level play for Justin Fields, and it's a fraction off.
Yep, and that internal clock, it'll speed up.
Yeah, I mean, again, with that RPO part of it, Zan, I can't slate him for that. That's real difficult off an RPO look. And again, read the information that's in front of you in terms of the alignment, in terms of where your receivers are, in terms of where their linebackers are, and Petrie. Look at the alignment on the outside of the corners. And look at them bailing already, look.
It's going to be a box check. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what that is.
That's your read, these two. Justin's already made it, look. I think this is going to third down, look. This is a hell of a throw.
I'll tell you what, when I'm seeing variations of 4 match, whether it's 6, quarters, palms, Justin's got a grasp of it. You can see here when can you just roll it into the snap here a little bit, about let the receivers get into their route a little bit. Just a little bit. All right.
That's off Petrie there. That's the key moment.
Right. So you got this box of, you see that at the top of the screen, you got a high point, a low point of the box, and then you got the inside safety in between the hash marks, and then you got the low inside corner of the box. I mean, you can see the over exactly what he's highlighted right there. Then you got this over pattern working into the void outside of the box while you're driving off the coverage. Funny enough, this is actually one of the staple Madden calls. This is like one of the most competitive Madden calls. For those that don't know me, I'm a Madden guy. This is actually like pro Madden players run this all the time. This deep over from a bunch set. It's the most popular concept in the world. And whenever players get matched, this is the route that they go to. And you can see that Justin has a grasp of this. This is, this scheme is run throughout college. It's working its way into the NFL. You're going to see him get real comfortable against this. And you saw, he identified it right away. And I mean, there's the hole. You see all the grass down there on outside the left hash. That's where the ball's going.
Yeah, right there. I think this is a hell of a decision and throw. You know, people will call me fanboy or whatever, but I mean, we've already debunked where, you know, people saying, oh, we should throw to EQ, we should throw to Mooney. I don't think he's made a bad decision. Maybe one, you know what I mean? And a few bad throws, but this is big boy stuff right there, right that moment. That's where he's made his decision. That's where it's going. Is that a great ball? Yeah.
But he got that information of the quarters from the outside corner bailing, and he knew where to go with it.
Nez, have I tired you out, dude?
No, actually, I'm looking at it in depth, and you know, this was against a 9th ranked DVOA defense against the pass here. Again, the first 3 teams that we played were all top 12 defenses DVOA, and the Giants are 28th in the pass.
Are they showing pressure here?
Oh yeah,
nothing to be concerned about here.
Okay. So what are for the audience that are watching at home? What are the clues for pressure? Well, inside alignment, which means your man. Inside alignment means your man. Outside alignment off a wide 9 with an overload. Wonder why is an outside alignment here. Okay, safety's already kind of cheating over this way. I wonder what we're going to get. Where we're going to see a bail. That's savvy shift there, and that's see it's a man. I think this is an alert. You see, Justin Point. I think this is actually an alert. You see, I don't think this is pre-snap call. This is in the huddle. This is an alert. He's saying, "I've got man. I've got blitz. I want to get stack release under."
Mm-hmm.
And then you see the inside off of Herbert, and Equanimous is wide open, but it's too late. By the time it comes open, it's too late. Look, Larry just gets all kinds of he needs to post step up inside there.
I think the backer floating low left scared him off of the alert that he made, and he started to glance right off of this, and it just broke down.
Yeah, I think he's actually. Yeah, I mean, EQ is where he's going to go with that. I think without a doubt. But the problem is, you know, 1, 2.
It's a face instantly.
It just ain't. So I think first of all, I don't think the equanimous motion to stack under, which is what it is. I don't think this is a pre-snap in the huddle call. I think this is an alert by Justin, and then to do that off what is showing man pressure, it's just because the pass protection breaks down on this one. Otherwise, EQ is off and running, probably a touchdown, I reckon. If he throws that with these 2 guys coming off here.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I think that was an on-the-fly adjustment, which does kind of hit that narrative that he's not processing things square in the teeth.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like this. Yeah, this was something I didn't catch live.
Well, this is why I'm calling bullshit on narratives. You know, that's why.
Hey, I was guilty. I even put a tweet out in the middle of this game after the second pick. I was like, I'm not there yet, but we're not that far away from having some real conversations. This is tempering me a little bit.
Yeah, see, Sam's calling it left because of the overload. Look, on that. Remember I said the outside alignment, it looks like an overload to that side. That's why Sam's called it left. I think if he just calls this right, this is money. Do you know what I mean? If he's going here, because that's a 1 tech, and that's really where he should stay, because this is a 1 tech. That's a bluff. That's an A bluff. Okay, so this is less,
man.
Yeah, this is less of a threat than this is. So you've got to go that way, and then you say, okay, middle is you. If he comes, if he doesn't come, you can still release. So I think this is the protection is called the wrong way. You see Sam sliding left, and and then Patrick gets beaten really badly.
No, did you say Fields was calling the slides at the line right now, or Sam is?
On gun, I believe that it's Fields that's supposed to be calling the protection, but I'm not sure if it's Sam on this one or whether it's Fields. But they all go left apart from Larry's got a swing to the right, and then it creates so much gap there. And then, you know, it's Patrick getting beaten, which is the worst part of this, and that's where he needs to be aware. He can't depart this early, and that's why
we've seen a couple reps. You and I had a talk via DM about a completely different rep than this one, where Sam is just not giving anybody help on some of these plays. Like what? It's just he's not securing anything. Like he just doesn't rep after rep. I made it 3 hours. I'm sorry. He consistently does this. It pisses me off.
Again, I can't wait till Lucas Patrick is centre and Tevin Jenkins is right guard and Larry Barham's right tackle. I think we will have a really, really solid offensive line.
At least you, even if it's not physically imposing in some weeks, it's not going to be making mental mistakes like that and snapping the ball random spots, scatter shot.
So stack is where you want to be declaring up, because at the moment it looks like inside outside basis with these guys, but that would sort of push zone. And again, we're kind of saying zone by alignment. I'm talking, yeah. So, and then the motion tells you what you need to know. Mm-hmm. You see this shift. Why is he shifting? He's thinking he's going to go. They're thinking boot action. The defense is thinking boot action.
Yes,
and it is boot action. I'm tired of being right, guys. And that's the only throw that's on. That's literally it. That's literally it. And what does he do? He puts it right on him. If you've learned anything from this broadcast, if you've found anything out about the narrative about Justin Fields and whether he's making the right decisions and whether we are telegraphing things that are easy for defenses to read, I am a dumb Brit. I am literally dense when it comes to American football compared to what these guys should be. If I'm seeing this shit so simply, Justin is doing the right things. He's making the right decisions. He's been put in some bad decisions with breakdowns. That's an absolutely fantastic job. That's a really tough block. That's a really tough ask by alignment. And look at it, it doesn't even get a hand on it, really. Tevin does go, but then Tevin goes to the left and tries to snot Sam's man. He's just after blood. And then, you talk about making the right throw. I kind of want you to carry on. I know why you're settling, but I kind of want you to carry on. Because Justin will bait these guys up.
How many reps through 3 weeks on these boots do you see 3 defenders guarding Justin with somebody right in the middle of the field, or that second option high low?
I've told you every single boot action to date we've seen, wherever he's booted, you've seen sort of 8 and then 3. I mean, again, we need to put in a design throwback to the backside, like with Pettis. When the breakdown play, that kind of needs to be in the design now on these boots.
Sneak the tight end underneath and then wheel them up the far sideline or the away from the boot sideline. Screens, whatever you got to do.
All receivers running towards the middle of the field like they're coming on cracks, and then they come on the crack and then they leak back to the outside as the naked boot goes, because that motion is going to be in the linebacker's eyes. The linebacker see ball, chase ball. That's kind of, I'm being a little bit harsh on linebackers, but they are kind of see ball. They are kind of see ball, chase ball. But And again, we've only got a few more plays left to go, but I think this has been a really good. I've really enjoyed doing this with you guys. I think this is really good. And again, you see that shift by the defense. Mm-hmm. Again, we're showing zone, but look at Petrie and then look at the linebackers. You see his man on tight end. This is all for that RPO action, the boot action. That's why they're doing it. And again, you think they don't fear Justin Fields? That's the throw. That's the throw right now. All this, Tongs.
Backside middle too. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Because these guys, they're cheating so much. This is wide open, Tongs. In fact, I actually like this more. Let's see where it goes.
I think it'll stay open.
Oh, look at him turn back. Oh, he's seen it. Yep, lollipop. Oh, Jake.
Just a missed throw. Yeah.
Look at them all chase down. Look, this is designed chase Justin Fields, and he does. Look at this. Look at him turn his body, and he's kind of having to throw back against himself. We see Mahomes do this. Just a little bit too much on it for Tongs to actually sit down. If Tongs is a vet, if he's a vet tight end, he sits. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he's off the practice squad. He's elevated off the practice squad. So.
you're going to get a kid running like his hair is
It's a-
on fire in the NFL,
Yeah.
you know, being on the
I've
practice squad.
I've got one chance to impress, I better impress, and you know, but
The human element is real.
absolutely. Right. So again, look at the alignment of the DBs. I'm not going to talk about it anymore because I'll let you guys do it. And they're showing they're bluffing the blitz again and again. It's sort of that you see the linebacker bracket. That's the way I like the inside linebackers to run it. When I say linebacker bracket, you face the line of scrimmage, and then whatever comes in breaking route, they go out. They run in towards you. You know, worst case scenario, you have a collision. Let's see what Justin's doing. Okay.
They bailed out to 2 from a single high there. Is that what I'm seeing?
Yeah, pre-snap, yeah.
Yep.
And Peach is kind of telegraphing with the weight on the front foot. Look, he sees weights on his front foot.
Yeah.
He's telegraphing it that he's bailing, but so it's cover 2, isn't it? Just cover 2 shell. Middle of the field open technically, but it's Tampa.
Yeah, that's a ball we got to get in there.
It's a quick line, and Justin again gets absolutely smacked as the ball goes right there.
In the teeth as soon as he lets it go.
Well, I think his hand's actually hitting his arm as he's throwing it right there.
Yeah.
The ball hasn't even come out. He's hit his elbow. You see he's striking his elbow now, and the ball's just coming out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happens to the ball? It sails because, I mean, that's the only thing is, and again, it's third down. Where it's because you got this, yeah. I can't, but I see why he's going middle of the field open. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But those
where's the sticks at here?
Here, 32-yard line.
32. Okay.
So you can even throw Komet. Tip ball interception. So interception's going to go against his. He's going to think, can I trust the middle of the field open anymore? I don't know. Double A gap bluff. Look how wide the rest of them are. Just sails on him. It just gets his hand hit and ball just sails on him. Anyway, interception late on. Interception. So this is fourth quarter now, and this is late on. So I think, bearing in mind he's just thrown an interception, I think this is a big boy throw.
Oh, yeah, right here with Donnell Mooney. I think it was like for an 18-yard gain.
Komet.
Oh,
look at that.
Okay.
Second window.
Oh yeah, that looks almost no look from this angle. It looked like he's glancing out to the middle receiver on the trips when he slings this sidearm.
And they want to rob this first window. Look at him. See him trying to rob the first window, and then he comes second window, and then whoop, there it goes. That's a big boy.
Mahomes does that. We see that for friggin' 4 days on ESPN.
Yeah. It's Justin Fields, though. We've got to say how shit he is. We've got to destroy him, right? He's not making good decisions.
Let's see these eyes here.
I mean, look at this, how late this is. And then look, now he's made a decision, and then whoop, there it goes. That's a hell of a throw.
Absolutely.
Okay, so he was looking at him, but I mean, he used his eyes so well on that play. I mean,
I don't know. I'm looking at this tape, and I'm actually coming away thinking, do you know what? He's doing a pretty good job.
Mm-hmm.
But again, let's see what we get. It's even later on now. Obviously, we're driving. So, slot halfback, like wing back, opposite side of the tight end. What's the alignment looking like? Okay, we've got safety literally up over the tight end. We've got a linebacker up over the fullback. We've got Petrie down in the box again. They're thinking boot action because we've seen this on that power run from last week. There's that action. Okay. As soon as his turn now, please throw it, Justin. Please throw it. And it's just, he's so late to turn. But that again,
strike.
I tell you what. Oh. Does he have a quick release? Oh, I don't know. That looks like a pretty quick release to me. See how he's not overstriding on this one?
Mm-hmm.
And he's pushing off that back foot.
That was a missile.
It's a rocket. That's one of those passes where you hear it coming, Nez.
Oh, yeah.
You don't even see the ball before it's on you. Yeah. Nice catch by Darnell. Big boy throw. Okay. Last two plays. So we've got the A-gap bluff again. And then running that bracket again. Oh, we need to...
Fade, left sideline, is that what you're looking
Yeah.
at?
Yeah, but I mean, it's because his right hash.
Mhm.
Again, I kind of know why he
That's a
hasn't
tough
thrown it.
throw.
Yeah. Right hash. That's... Oh, dear.
Plus that left safety's damn near at the numbers too. Yeah, you got to hit the intermediate route here.
That's the...
Oh
I mean,
yeah,
if
or
you're-
split the safeties too.
But again, it's tampering it. That's a massive ass to try and get. I mean, look what he's escaping there. Bear in mind that Braxton, yet again, is running for his life when someone tries to beat him for speed because he's not getting deep enough in his kick slides. Look at him click his heels there. You see how clicky his heels
Right.
are, Braxton?
Yeah.
He doesn't have a wide enough base. You see how bent his knees are to try and get his ass down.
Yeah.
He looks a little bit like Bambi on skates at times, Braxton, but he's very good. But he's Coach Morgan will get him just right, I tell you. And then Justin just has to pull it down. I love that he sees him get elevated, he pulls it down and then goes upfield for another one. Oh, he's just stepped out there, look. But he tries to get upfield for another 2-3 yards. Yeah, the linesman actually got a really good, the side judge got a really good mark there. That's, again, you see where he gets real heel clicky. Well, look at that, you can't cross over. It's not karaoke drill, dude. Oh dear.
I was gonna say
but then,
that long arm move is gonna be the one that he's susceptible to off of that type of posturing.
but then look at the recovery there. He's super athletic.
Yeah. And when you can get away with technique like that and have a rep where you end up putting your guy on the ground, I mean, there's something there to work with. It's gonna come. It'll come in time.
And then last one, okay, so motion. What's motion told us? Bearing in mind Peachy's up on the edge of the line of scrimmage, I'm thinking, blitzer. Do we get any? And Justin's looking left. Okay, Cowrie, you're going to have to take him. You're going to have to take him. I don't know what you call it. Oh, no, don't wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they ran this exact style of motion. This was the first rep, I think. Didn't we see Petrie come up and do a kind of a similar aggressive blitz off the edge on the first rep?
It's the
very,
naked
very
boot.
similar.
It's the naked boot action, and by that wing, and then Petrie's already in a blitz for it, and the rim man. So if Blake, again, we're talking to asking a lot of people, but where you see he's starting to come in man, you see this blitz, you know this is unblocked. You've got to take it. It's the nearest threat to the QB. You can't, or Westgar has to cut him. Do you know what I mean? Inside, but there's nowhere near him, and that's. Oh, is that a defensive hold? Not quite enough, but doesn't deviate his movement. But if he does, that's a hold. Because even the attempt to grab and deviate, there's just no time for anything to come out off that blitz. Petrie is fast, and it's just such a bad call by Getsy. This they sussed it out in the first quarter. Why are we still calling this?
Yeah, that's my sentiments exactly.
Yeah, that's what I brought up too. I was just like, this was the first rep. This style of pre-snap motion with Petrie coming down off that left. Well, their point of view left. The offense's point of view is right edge. We saw something very similar to this on the first rep, and they brought him.
See, by design, this is left open, but again, you expect to squeeze down. No one's doing it anymore. They're just doing that, and then you're rolling up the safety. That's the adjustment they've made. They've adjusted to it. You need to now adjust to that adjustment. And I heard people saying that Fields needs to get more depth off this.
How much deeper you want him to get?
What are you?
You want to be sacked for minus 15? What do you want here?
It doesn't matter. I mean, if he's at this line, is he going to get out of this?
Not against a slot corner, no.
And what we've already seen, I can remember 3 plays where we've had this naked boot action. This has been a defensive end, and Justin stopped dead and then come upfield and made this guy miss. It's because this is a fast DB. Otherwise, Justin makes him miss. And you see him try and duck under it. And
yeah, he tried to do the same thing he did to, the Packers and the Niners. It's just you got a cover corner, or a coverage-based player that a little bit more agile. You're not going to put the little okey doke on him there.
So that concludes the Justin Fields every single pass play of the season so far. So given that we've seen every single pass play, we've seen every single pre-snap and pro-snap coverage, we've seen every single route, we've seen every single decision by Justin Fields, we've seen every single throw and every single run. Is the narrative that you've heard by the mainstream coverage that are, talking heads that have never played football, that are writers by profession, and I don't say this to be nasty, I just think they should learn more about football from people who know it. There's no excuse to be a professional and not learn about it, is what George Hallis is able to do, but no one else, it seems. You would hope that you would learn about the profession that you're in. But again, I hear people talk about quarterback play that want Kellen Mond as a quarterback in the draft in the first round. Adam Howe, just to mention one name. Yeah, I hear about people talking about mechanics that have never thrown a football, and I'm thinking, this is the All-22. I'm not. When I go into each play, I don't script it. I don't look at it beforehand. I tell myself, what basically the down and distance is, but that's it. And then we react to what we're seeing live on tape. Zan's reacted. Nez has reacted. You've all seen it. We've broken it down. So those are in the chat. 30 people live with us still. Thank you, every single one of you, for being here for 3 hours, 16 minutes. I just need to know what you think. I'll ask you, Zan, and then I'll ask you, Nez, and then we'll see if anyone comes in the chat by that time. Based upon what you've seen tonight, based upon every single pass decision, every single pass play called, the coverages it's been, how Justin's reacted, I think he's made some fantastic adjustments. It's just there's been 1 or 2 times where the throw hasn't been quite what it needs to be for me. But Zan, we'll let you go first.
Yeah. After watching every rep through, I think anybody who is saying that he's not processing things is probably a little bit misguided in their thought. Would you like to see on some of those reps the clock speed up? Certainly. But should you expect that out of a guy 13 games into his NFL career on his second OC when the first one was a miserable failure? No, I don't think it's realistic to expect him in his 3rd game of his rookie year. That's what I'm calling that. The 3rd game of his rookie season to be all the way there. That's a little bit of a steep expectation. In terms of some of the things that I saw today where I was like, yeah, I would have liked to have seen this. I always have to think back as a Madden guy. I know I said Madden again, but when I'm playing, one of the most common things that happens to me as I'm playing is someone will pop in from the chat and say, X receiver was open. And I'll say, you're going through a different progression than me, man. I was starting with 1, 2, 3 over here. X is over here, and what you read might not be the way that they read it. Something that you see backside, we saw some red zone concepts where it's like, damn, that quick under was open on the backside. Well, he was looking 1, 2, 3 to the right, and backside guy was not really in the progression. So a lot of it is just kind of like, we'll get there. It's not necessarily like, oh, he's a bust. I think anybody that's running with that right now is just not watching the games on television, which, and to be honest, the television doesn't give you the best opportunity to really evaluate. What we just did just now does. And even when you watch on television, you can still be like, nah, he's processing things. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit faster, but he's making good decisions, being mostly risk averse. The completions will come. The side adjustments by the wide receivers will come. The chemistry will be there. Anybody that's expecting us to, be 3-1 at the end of Sunday and in the playoff hunt, temper the expectations. It's all eye test. And right now we just did a 3-hour and 15-minute eye test that should give you a little bit of confidence in the man.
Nez.
Hey, I can't say it any better. And pretty much he hit the nail right on the head. Give it time, give it patience. Again, this is his 13th start. It'll be his 14th start this Sunday. It'll all start to process and click for him. This is a very smart young man, scored extremely high on the Wonderlic. He's no dummy. He's not going to make the same mistakes twice. Relax. Let him learn. Let him take his lumps. Again, like I said, his counterparts last year took their lumps their rookie year. This is still his rookie year, folks. Just because he was in a Bears uniform last year doesn't mean that he's in his second year. This is his rookie year again, and a new offense. It's going to take time. Cohesion will come. Things will settle down. He will settle in, and he'll continue to process and make plays. He's not processing slowly. He's actually protecting the ball because it could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been far worse, right? The little interceptions that he thrown, okay, I bet Justin has learned from that and won't make the same mistakes. Give him time. Let him play this out. We won't be disappointed. I'm not worried.
No, I think you guys, I mean, the one thing I would say, I'm a bot, and just to dissent from this, right now the team is bad. No, I don't think the team is bad. They are very new in a very new system. Don't forget, everyone is learning this offense for the first time. Look at the improvement of the offensive line compared to last year. Look at the improvement of the blocking of the wide receivers on this run game for Khalil Herbert. Look at the yards we're getting on offense. Look at the decision-making that Justin Fields is having on a brand new system. And part of that decision-making in this scheme is also the tight ends and wide receivers making the right sight adjustments based upon where the coverage is. We have seen breakdowns of those sight adjustments. We have seen people not adjusting the depth that they're running the routes at to help Justin out. And Justin's fucking pointing to him. He's saying, get deeper. Give me a chance. And all of it is on his shoulders. And that starts with the media, and it starts with us fans. Yeah? If we want to be a fan and we want to have an opinion, try and make it an informed opinion. Try and learn more about what you're looking at. Try and just be patient with what you're saying and say, okay, it kind of looks like that at first blush. I'm disappointed. Let's wait till someone breaks it down, or you know what I mean? Or get the all-22 yourself, take a look at it, run it back, apply what you've learned in, what hopefully I am pointing out, because that's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to, teach anyone or tell you to change your opinion. But I am saying to you that this kid is under so much pressure and learning so much, and he's got to do the protections. He's got to know that Sam's going to go the right way. He's got to know that Sam's going to put the ball in his fucking hand off the snap. He's then going to, he's got to then worry about whether Braxton's tap dancing or whether he's actually pass blocking this time. Is Lucas Patrick going to fall down on the inside, or is Braxton going to step on my foot again? Is Cody going to step on my... There's so much going on. There's so much noise. All this external noise that we're hearing, all this bullshit narrative because people want him to fail. Ohio QB, black QB, young QB, Bears QB, fucking put him down. Bullshit. The kid's good. He's a cerebral quarterback. He's learning on the fly. He's making some really good decisions. The passing, when the ball is dry and it's all the rest of it, the conditions are right. There's nothing wrong. Yeah, one or two times there's been some mechanical breakdowns that are largely, someone stepped on his foot. He's not been able to. There's been one or two overstrides. We've heard him say it in the media. He's aware. If you think this kid isn't going to correct it and get it right, I don't know what you're watching. I don't know what you've listened to, because Justin Fields has shown the ability to correct decisions that have gone wrong. We saw baited throws that he then didn't go back to. We saw robber coverages from last year when he got fooled by the Bengals. He didn't get fooled this year. We've seen the 49ers in a game get an interception on him, baiting a one high hole throw that they were robbing. He didn't get caught with it again in that same game. Mm-hmm. in a downpour when the ball's so wet. It's just be patient, because this is growth for all of the players. The area that I'm actually more concerned with is our run and zone with our linebackers. The second half of last week got much better. They were attacking downhill, the linebackers. So many times in that first half, they were running up the wrong alleys. But this is about the quarterback. This is about Justin Fields. This is about the narrative against him. And I'm calling bullshit on it. I've put it out there. I've put the tape up there. You've seen it. I've explained it to other people that are very intelligent, football people who know what they're talking about. I mean, Nez played D1 football. Sorry, Nez over there. He's played D1 football, wide receiver. Zan knows the game inside out. All you need to do is watch him play Madden and the way he talks about it while he's playing the game, for Christ's sake. He's really astute dude. And for us three to come to a consensus saying, well, actually, no, I don't think I've seen a bad decision. Maybe, hypercritical, he could have gone there. But realistically, what was he seeing on the field? How much of it did he see? What is the processing he's going through? What was the pass protection like? What were the routes like? Did they run at the right depth? Did Darnell Mooney keep it straight enough to be able to do? There's all this going on. You just need to apply the context, guys. And just be patient with him because this kid is going to be a good QB. I will put it out there. I'm quite happy to put my name on it. I think he's going to be a good QB. If you give him time, you need to support him. That's all I've got to say. So in the chat, let's say, speak the truth. It's like your seed being watered right now. I agree with that. There is growth, just not sexy media talk and stat growth. Well, fuck a stat. Stats are only good when they have some sort of context. If it's a number put to something which is subjective, not objective, then it's a pointless stat, and that's what you need to put in your mind. If it is objective, as in it's quantifying or numbering or showing incidences of a certain set, formation, yard marker, down and distance, what people are running, you can rely on that, but you can't rely upon, it took 3.7 seconds to throw. Okay, why did he take 3.7 seconds to throw? What went on that play? Those kind of stats are just pointless. Watch it. Just watch what people are putting out there. And if you've seen all 22 breakdowns where, Justin should have thrown to this guy over here because when I paused no, look at the player as a whole. Watch what the progression is. Watch what he's looking at. Look where his head's looking. The clues are there, guys. It's just there for you. But anyway, thank you for watching. Nez, you're an absolute legend. Let me get the banners and stuff up. We'll get the comments off. Thank you, every single person. I hope you've all hit like. I hope you all share it on your social medias. This is Nez. Nez, if you want to give yourself a little talk about what you got coming up with the Three Kings and what you're doing on Twitter.
Oh yeah, man. The Three Kings of the Midway is at 3Kings_Midway. That's myself and Dan and Roy. We definitely got some stuff going on, man. We got the upcoming live streams coming up. We got the YouTube channel up and going. Just trying to spread realism, man, with Bears coverage, and just try to be, we're not homers. We tell the truth, man. We try to keep it a buck at all times, regardless whether right, wrong, or indifferent. We're going to always tell you the truth. That's it.
I watch them, so I suggest that you do. That's what I'm going to say on that. Zan, you have the mic, sir, so just plug anything and everything.
No, man, no need for that. I appreciate you having me on. If you guys want to follow me, it's at ZanMadden on every platform, including Twitch. Just a guy who likes playing video game football, blessed to do what I do. And, I've always wanted to kind of get into the film thing, and I appreciate George having me on to do this and, show that, not all of us guys that just play Madden are weirdos that chuck 4 verticals every play and blitz cover 0 every play and don't know anything. So I'm glad to be able to hop on and at least show that I'm not a dumbass. So that's my bar,
And anything but, well, there's actually a website for that, isn't there, Zan? If you want to address that, there's a website for it.
Oh, my website? Yeah, it's gridirongameplans.gg. If you guys are interested in getting better at Madden, hop in. We got a Discord channel for our members, great community. Everybody's helping each other out. But other than that, you guys can come watch me play for free every day on Twitch, Monday through Friday. So hopefully I'll see you guys there.
I'm telling you now, Nomad, it is coming. The breakthrough is coming.
It's definitely coming.
And when it does, I know Nez has got all the receipts, so I know Nez
is coming. It's coming, and I'm telling you, it's gonna come. It's not gonna be, he's gonna have decent showings against pretty bad defensive, pretty bad pass defenses, right? He's gonna have decent showings, but you're gonna know he's arrived when he's doing this against the Packers, and he's just
Yeah.
marching them down the field with no problem. That's when you know he has arrived, and then that's when the Green Bay chokehold end. It'll be over at that point.
So Zan's already in the chat. Look, check this out. Multitasking. Guys, I've really enjoyed this. I mean, I know it's been a long ass broadcast. I only intended to go 2.5 hours, but I dare say my wife is going to be upset with me. But she's an absolute, just an amazing woman. So yeah, thank you, Mim, for letting me do this. You are fantastic. You look after our kids so well. And guys, I mean, yeah, thank you for watching right the way through to the end. We've still got 30 in the broadcast. We're 30 at the start. I hope all of you have hit like, you've hit subscribe. You're going to be here with notifications on for more. Zan, absolute pleasure as always talking ball with you. And same, Nez. I mean, you are welcome whenever you want. If you want to make this a regular thing, I'm down. You know, I think you're both real. I like what you do. I like the content you're putting out yourselves. So you are welcome back anytime you want, whether it's offense, defense, doesn't matter. We'll go through it, we'll chop it up. So thanks very much, guys. With that, I'm going to say be kind, bear down, bellissimo, and buddies. Cheers.